Of Anaheim with at least one victory there. They do salvage the finale of that 4-game series after dropping the first 3. The road trip continues out west. Tonight they begin a set against the Mariners in Seattle, and we're glad to have you with us on this late Friday evening. Hope you're doing well as we bring you White Sox baseball tonight. Chris Sale will get the start against Felix Hernandez. I'm Chris Ranji, your host, here on the White Sox pregame show, broadcasting from the U.S. Bank radio booth. U.S. Bank is as passionate about banking as you are about baseball. Member FDIC. We bring in the broadcast team of Ed Farmer and Darren Jackson. Guys, you look at this pitching matchup. This is the kind of matchup that fans, if they weren't maybe thinking about going to the ball game on a particular night, this is the one they make sure they get out for.
Yeah, this is one you arrive early and hopefully you get to see the whole game, and it's going to be what we think is a 2-hour, maybe 15-minute game tonight. We'll see how the White Sox hit tonight. But you've got 2 starters going tonight, Darren. Sale is 11-7 with an earned average of 3.32. Felix Hernandez 14-7 with an ERA slightly higher at 3.65. They work quick. They throw strikes. There's no gray area here. Let's call White Sox baseball and let's make it a winner tonight.
You know, I think the most exciting thing about these two pitching against each other is that they're both great pitchers. As dominant as they seem to be, striking out guys, this, that, and the other, is they both use their off-speed stuff effectively to make their fastball better. They both got overpowering off-speed stuff, and I say that in the sense that it's hard to hit it, whether the speed or not is there. These are two pitchers that have mastered the strike zone with everything they have. That's what makes it fun to watch.
And when you have two like this, these two are competing certainly against the other team, but they're competing against one another also. As King Felix, as he is known for strikeouts, has 147, 153 innings. Sale has worked 157 innings. He has 208 strikeouts. So they're going to try and best one another also in that degree.
Yeah, if you're a hitter in tonight's game, your goal sometimes is just to make contact against these kind of pitchers, which usually good things don't happen because you don't really swing hard enough to do any damage.
It is Sale pitching for the White Sox tonight, 11-7. Felix Hernandez will go for the Mariners at 14-7. We got more with this pregame show. Chris Ranji from the studios in Chicago will continue after this on The Score, and this is your White Sox Radio Network. Coming up here on the bottom of the first, things changed dramatically on a caught stealing. He led the game off with a single to right. Saladino hit a fly ball to center, and then ate to set sail for second base and was out 2-4. Abreu popped out to the catcher over by the Mariners dugout in foul territory. Ketel Marte will lead it off, their shortstop, and the pitch from Sale, strike one called. You better be ready because if you blink, Sale's going to throw his second pitch.
Yeah, he throws a pitch. What do you say? 2 pitches in 10 seconds.
Yeah. The next one swung and a missed. 0-2 now. It helps him in many ways. Well, first, he's got great stuff. That's one thing.
Yes.
And then secondly, you don't have time to say, I'm going to step out and wait for another pitch. It's already on its way. In the 0-2, Marte looks at one just low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a switch batter. Faces Chris at the right-handed batter's box. 281 from that side, 283 overall. And Sale deals the 1-2 pitch. A swing and a line drive to right. Garcia started in, now running back, reaches up. Ball goes in and out of his glove, picks it up. Marte heading for second base. Will make it with a double.
It could be scored an error.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was.
I think they're going to try and get in Chris Sale's head and score at a base hit. It shouldn't be because that's one he didn't do anything other than run back and reach up right over his shoulder and drop it. This is a play that's routinely made by him out there.
Yeah. There was, I don't know if he had the glove open enough to get that baseball, Darren.
I mean, I want to tell you, the thing is about that play, when you're running, Ed.
That's a hit.
And you reach back with your eyes looking out and your gloves behind your head, you lose sight of it when you're running, and you hit that off the heel of your glove or the side of your glove a lot.
There's Kyle Seager. That's in there for a strike. His Sale's not taking any time. 265. For the third baseman, 17 home runs for this guy and 48 runs batted in. He's calling time and Sale's not even ready to pitch.
Yeah, he's been an all-star, Seager. He can play.
Nice player, isn't he? Here's the 0-1 in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was a slurp ball that missed by a couple of feet. 1-1.
Now, the crazy stat this year with Chris Sale is how left-handers have hit him. They're hitting 264 against Chris Sale. Right-handers, 217. And that was before that at bat there by Marte. We'll look and see how Seager has done against left-handers this year.
1 ball, 1 strike at Kyle Seager at the 1-1. A swing, I think. 1-2 now. That's what he can do to you. It can make you think a little differently about exactly what you're looking for and how you're going to attack it.
So Seager, a .293 hitter against left-handers compared to righties, .251. So he, just like what we had seen this year of.
And the 1-2 pitch fouled off the end of the bat.
What was it we just saw in town that made the big adjustment? Left-handed batter hitting left-handed pitchers. Might have been Moustakas.
He was one of them, yeah.
That's truly improved against left-handers.
Sale, by the way, is 6'6", 180 pounds, 26 years of age. Those in Fort Myers, Florida, trying to work around Seager, see if he can get him on strikes. This one's fouled on the ground over in the Mariners' dugout. The count holds at 1-2 strikes. Ketel Marte is at second base with a leadoff double. And Seager's trying to move him along or get him in. If he's thinking straight up the middle, he may have a better chance here.
Actually, Anthony Rizzo is a much improved hitter against left-handers.
He's much improved everything. The 1-2 pitch. Seager check swing. Did he go? They'll appeal that. Yeah, he's out. Gary Cederstrom gave him a ring up. And you know what, Darren? He swung at that for me.
Oh, no, I agree.
That's Lance Barksdale over third. Cederstrom's across the field.
Yeah, no, seeing the replay, it kind of confirms what we thought.
We just came from Anaheim where they didn't call that, and we talked about that, how some umpires call it. What you have problems with is when they call it, and then all of a sudden later in the game they're not calling it. It's about the same thing. There's the heart for them in their order, Nelson Cruz, and he just took a pitch in there for strike one. Nelly, 320 with 36 home runs and 75 runs batted in.
And he's hit Chris Sale hard. 6 hits and 13 at-bats, and 2 of them are home runs.
He reached base this year in 30 straight games. 1-1 the count, 1 out. Cruz's strong right-handed batter. Time is called at home plate as Sale was about to deliver it. Now that I won't go along with. He was ready to deliver. You cannot give the batter time at that point.
I don't understand it. I get it if a pitcher's looking out to second base, back to home plate, out to second base, back to home, and he's not throwing the ball.
Next one, Cruz takes one up. I'll tell you what, if that's on the middle of home plate or got any part of home plate, that's a strike. Cruz isn't 5 foot tall. This is a big guy.
Oh, no, he's not little. That was a strike. That's a fact. That was below his elbows.
The 1-1, Nelson Cruz, fastball right by him, swinging 1-2.
That is 96 miles an hour in the Xfinity Speed Gun. Xfinity is your home for the most live sports.
I played with a couple of pitchers that work like this, work quick like this, and they told me they work quick so they didn't have to do a lot of thinking.
Well, I don't blame them.
The 1-2 to Cruz, missed, down, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think it's a much better rhythm for a pitcher. First of all, to know they're capable of getting a hitter out, but not have to overthink it. It's
right.
Like, here's a pitch, here's the next one, let's keep going, let's move along. And it keeps you in a good rhythm as a pitcher, and it keeps the hitter in a bad rhythm.
The 2-2 pitch to Cruz, foul tipped into the glove of Flowers. He's out on strikes. And Sale struck out Seager. Now he punches out Cruz, and he'll deal with Robbie Cano.
Sox fans, the first 20,000 fans Sunday, August 30th, will receive a White Sox baseball cap presented by Marquette Bank. Marquette Bank, love where you bank. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com.
So with 2 outs, here's Cano. And Robinson, 272 with 13 homers and 34 runs batted. In the former Yankee and high-priced acquisition by these Mariners. He can play second base. He's got all the plays over there. This guy can hit. You cannot get careless with Robinson Cano. Straight up stance, left-handed batter's box. Sale will look at Marte at second. He delivers. Pitch 1. Right down the middle, knee high, ball 1. Another thing about Sale, rarely do you ever see his displeasure with a bad call.
No, he's pretty good. There were times earlier this year where, for some reason, he was a little more emotional.
Yeah.
He's got that back under control.
1 ball, no strikes on Cano. Marte at second, no score on the pitch. That's a strike. That didn't look as good as the first one. 1-1.
I think at this point, Chris Sale's just going to not worry about it and just keep throwing strikes as much as he can and hope the umpire calls the right pitch.
Cano in the last 26 games has been hot, Darren. 336 with 5 homers.
Yep.
2 outs, no score. Runner at second, Marte. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cano. And the 1-1, a floater. Did he go? They'll play second, third. I didn't think he'd gone. 2-1.
Cano. Not the same caliber player that he was when he played with the Yankees.
Yeah.
Still, a great player to have, but not that guy that was driving in 100 runs and hitting you 25 to 30 home runs, basically the best hitting second baseman in baseball. Just not that same type of production.
2 balls, 1 strike. Hitters count to 2-1 to Cano. Outside low, 3-1. Well, the ballpark's changed a little bit for him, too. Yankee Stadium, the right field. I mean, straight up in right field, it's 314, I think, down the right field line. And what is the deepest part? I mean, if you're going straight up and right, 335?
I mean, it's a little more than that, 350 or so, yeah. But you know what? Yeah, you could just hook it out of there because the wind seemed to always gust that way as well. It just got out of there. That influences you. That's a fact.
The 3-1 to Cano, foul out of play. Now it's a full count of 3-2. Marte is still at second on a double that hit in and out of the glove of the right fielder, Avi Garcia.
I think, Cano is a very good player. But that's one of the things you have to consider when you're signing somebody hitting in that kind of ballpark. Will his production be the same? And, well, the obvious answer is no, because it's gone down.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Sale trying to strike out the side after the leadoff double by Marte. And the 3-2 to Cano, foul back. Had his pitch there and couldn't connect. Right down the middle.
Yes, he did. He was all over it. Timing was great. But when you're facing somebody throwing a pitch in the high 90s, you fell him off an awful lot.
We talked about this in the pitching matchup. Sale, the last time out against the Cubs, gave up 1 hit and struck out 15 in 7 innings. 15 strikeouts?
Yep. And that's the second time in his career he's had that amount of strikeouts.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and Cano called time as Sale was rocking into that stretch. A reset on the third base side of the pitching rubber, Will Chris. Read the signs from Tyler Flowers as he does right now. Marte is stationary, lead away from second. And the 3-2 to Cano. Slider, strike 3, got him. He struck out the side. And he froze him with that slider to the outside corner. No runs, a double, leadoff double by Marte. He stays right at second base. To the second inning here in Seattle, we're scoreless. Lucky Cabrera will lead it off. Garcia and LaRoche, and before Cabrera bats. Oh, United, we're back at 10 on the score, and this is the White Sox Radio Network.
WJMK HD2, Chicago.
Hernandez winds in the pitch to Cabrera. Breaking ball called a strike. Alongside Darren Jackson at Farmer Safeco Field here in Seattle, Washington. First of 3. Right back here tomorrow night. The pregame show tomorrow with Chris Ranji, 7:35 Chicago time. Lineups at 8:05 in the first pitch, 8:10. Here's a swing and a fly ball. Deep center, not deep enough. Over to get it. Austin Jackson will make the play about 20 feet from the warning track. Cabrera now on this road trip is 2 out of 17.
Hey, fans, dust off your blue suede shoes for Elvis Night on August 28th. Presented by St. Xavier University. Come out to the ballpark for a tribute to the King of Rock and Roll, featuring performances by an Elvis tribute artist and a post-game fireworks show. Get your tickets by visiting whitesox.com.
Zach Davies is our engineer here at Safeco Field. The Score Studios downtown Chicago. Joe Ostrowski and Rip Camp working there. White Sox return home Monday. We start a series with the Boston Red Sox. And then Seattle's in over the weekend. There's a strike called on Avisail Garcia. Seattle takes us almost to the end of the month. And they're in for 4. Have an off day on Monday. Then we hit the road for Minnesota and Kansas City. 0-1. Inside corner. Didn't get the call. That was close. Didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Maybe Sale's voice you hear on the effects mic. Tell him I got the same deal. Don't worry about it. We're even. And we are even to the second. Zeros. There's a bouncing ball past the mound that's going to squeeze through for a base hit. Garcia around first. Jackson up with it. And now the throw comes in and changes Garcia's mind. He's back to first. So 1 out single for LaRoche here.
You don't see many slow rollers up the middle for hits anymore, but they had the shortstop Marte actually playing him to pull. And you know what? That's the way it used to be. Guys would play you more to pull and expose the middle of the diamond. But that has changed with most teams now. They take those away from you.
Right. You said there's a lot of hits up the middle. That was one, but not anymore.
No. A lot of hits taken away from you up the middle.
Here's LaRoche. Nice game last night. Couple of hits. His 11th home run, a 2-run homer that made it an 8-2 Sox lead, and that's how we won. That one's outside and high for ball 1, the check swing. They wanted that. They didn't get it. 1-0. For when Hernandez pitches here, they have the foam rubber type crown like a king would wear, not with a foam rubber, I don't think, a king.
Probably real jeweled and gold or silver. Yeah.
1 ball, no strikes on LaRoche, the 1-0. Make it 2-0. The ball that he had yesterday in Anaheim, it disappeared in the right center. That's how far it went.
It became small in a hurry?
It did. And pitchers know that. They know. They look at it, the geometrics of the baseball. It just starts shrinking. You're going, uh-oh. This is going a long way. The 2-0 to Adam. Check swing. He went 2-1.
Threw him a fastball just tailing away. LaRoche was cheating, trying to hit the fastball, turn on it. That's the thing about Felix Hernandez. When he's on, nothing is straight. Good running or sinking fastball. Got the slider that goes down with depth, the curveball, the changeup, and forkball.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Garcia at first. He's not running the 2-1. 3-1. He wanted that. Hernandez now looks questionably at Walcott, the home plate umpire.
It was outside.
I think that's what Walcott told him.
So, when you've been pitching as long as Felix has now and have had the career he has, you want the close ones, even if they're not close.
3 balls, 1 strike. Garcia may be running on this 3-1. He's not. The 3-1 is swinging a high fly ball to center. Jackson going back on the warning track in center field. Makes the catch. Garcia runs back to first base. He's there with 2 outs. Hit that ball. It's 401 feet out there, just to the left of where Jackson caught that. Probably hit that ball 390, didn't he?
Yeah. That you like to call that pitching to the big part of the park.
Absolutely.
And maybe you can explain, how do you pitch to the big part of the park?
Well, first off, you have to pitch in. You pitch in to go away. And when you pitch away, you get the batter looking in. But now he's in a protect mode at home plate. So he's not trying to hit the ball to right field usually. You pitch him in, he's going to try and pull the ball. You pitch him to the middle away, he's going to try to drive the ball back up the middle. That's what I think. So with 2 outs, here's Ramirez. A breaking ball buckled him, strike 1. Yikes.
Well, that's the Felix Hernandez curveball that has buckled a lot of right-handed batters.
That was a good one. What's brewing around Major League Baseball is brought to you by Hills Brothers Coffee. Trust the taste, share the tradition. The Cubs won at Wrigley. They beat Atlanta 5-3. Next one to Lexi. Pull foul on the ground. Now the count 1-2. Cleveland batting top of 9 at New York. They lead to the Indians 4-3 over the Yanks. A final at Detroit. Texas shut them out 2-0. The Tigers lose. And the final, Arizona playing Cincinnati. 3 runs better for the Diamondbacks. They beat them 6-3. The Reds go down in defeat. Here, no score. We're in the second. This is the Menards home run hitting inning. Patty Daniels from Springfield, Illinois is our contestant. The White Sox hit back-to-back home runs. She's going to win $1,000 of Menards gift cards. If not, a $25 gift card is headed in her direction. Friends, shop Menards for all of your home improvement needs and save a lot of money, please.
I saw something today here early at the ballpark that you just don't see anymore. And that was not the Yeti, but...
do you see the Yeti?
I have. Very rare, but still do. The Mariners were taking infield.
Here's the 0-2. A swing and a bouncing ball to short. A play for Marte. He'll go the short way to second as Cano grabs that. They get the force on Garcia. The White Sox go here in the second. No runs ahead. They leave a runner halfway through the second. No score. Sox in Seattle. Trumbo, former Angel player. After Mark Trumbo, Austin Jackson, who came from the Detroit Tigers here, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
No score. We're in the Mariners' second, and Sale deals the first one. And there for strike 1. Sale is getting the umpire now in his rhythm. Sale gave up a leadoff double to Marte, and then struck out the side. Starts Gutierrez with a pitch away for a strike. Now he comes in with one tailing away now. It looked like it was going to come in. It went away from him, swinging and missing. Now it's 0-2 on Franklin Gutierrez. How does he feel right now?
Like the other guys.
And there's a little bit of concern there at 0-2 for him.
Well, he's got 3 outs in this game, and they're all strikeouts.
And the 0-2 pitch, down with something off speed. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Franklin Gutierrez.
As much as you and I talk about the 0-2 strike,
right,
Chris Sale throws it probably at a higher percentage than anybody else on 0-2.
He's a lot of the ones swinging, too, on pitches that look like that strike from that. The 1-2 to Gutierrez is swinging a high fly ball left. A sky-high fly. My question is, does Cabrera see it? He's under it. He does make the catch. and then he moves away from the baseball. What's up with that?
That's his little thing. He likes to have fun. He had that all the way, but he likes to have a dance that he's doing like he's going to miss it, and then he had trouble with it and all that. He'll catch it, and then he takes off like, whoa, what? That was hard. Well, he caught it. Obviously wasn't hard.
I could see that if the sun was there somewhere, maybe with maybe a flash so he couldn't get it. But with that one, I mean, this was as the sun is setting in another spot way behind the third baseline. That was a strike thrown to Trumbo. A mark on the year, 240 with 6 homers and 20 runs batted in. On base percentage of 288. Right-handed batter, fairly straight up stance in that batter's box. Sales 0-1, swung and a miss. There's the changeup 0-2.
Oh, where have you gone, Mark Trumbo?
Didn't he go to the Diamondbacks from
right.
the Angels?
Yes, but when I say wherever, I mean he was a guy that look, nobody wanted to make a mistake to.
No.
And health's been an issue, and he's just not the same hitter.
Sales next one out. Way outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Let's go to 2013. He didn't hit for much average. He hit 234. But he did drive in 100 runs that year.
That's good.
With 34 home runs. He had 32 the year before that, 29 the year before that.
Sales 1-2 pitch to Mark Trumbo. A swing and a pop-up. Right side over by the Mariner dugout. Over comes LaRoche and makes a basket catch.
I don't know what that was. He ran over there like he was expecting somebody to run into him or something.
It looked like he was giving way to Flowers, who had to come from home plate. And he just made it past the coaching box at first in foul territory. So 2 outs, and there's Austin Jackson, the center fielder. Jackson 257 with 7 homers and 33 runs batted in. I thought he may be one of those fixtures in Detroit. No, there's a strike.
Yeah, Austin Jackson. Look and see who initially played for.
1 strike pitch, foul tipped in Flowers' glove. Now it's 0-2. And Sale has worked the count in his favor. Most of the batters he has faced, all 6 of them, he's ahead in the count either 0-1 or 0-2. There's one bounce. Did that get in the Sox dugout? Because 2 guys hit the deck. One of them fell down the stairs.
Yeah,
somebody protected him.
Luis caught that. So Austin Jackson initially, as I reflect back now, was with the Yankees and then was traded to Detroit for Curtis Granderson.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, a swing and a foul to play to the right. So he's spraying him around.
He's been wanted to a lot of teams. He's the prototypical leadoff guy. The Yankees gave him up for Granderson, and the Detroit wanted him thinking he was a better leadoff hitter than Curtis Granderson. It's just never really panned out.
0-2, he's out on strike. Sale has 4 of those in 2 innings. He's retired the last 6 since the double by Marte. Through 2 at Safeco Field in Seattle, no score.
Holmes for the
Sox coming to bat. No score here in the 3rd.
Yes, it is the 3rd inning. You know what that means? The 3rd inning is sponsored by the Village of New Lenox. Whether you're building a new home or building your business, New Lenox is the place to be.
Place to be for Sanchez is in the left-handed batter's box. The second baseman, left-handed, 261. Other side, not quite as good. 110 points shy of that with 150. Overall, 237. And that running fastball misses away for ball 1. This is the first time Hernandez and Sale have faced one another. The 1-0, foul out of play to the left. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sanchez out of the batter's box, now back in. 4 for 11 on this trip with a couple of runs scored and an RBI. The 1-1, a swing and a looping line drive, jumping Marte. I didn't think he had to jump, Darren.
Well, I think maybe he loaded up and was ready to jump and realized maybe he better not jump too high because that ball was coming back down towards him. So, he made the right play because he caught it.
Cano is giving him a lecture, and now he's laughing at him from his position at second base.
He got up about,
see that what he did?
He got up about 12 inches.
Yeah. And Cano he goes, you jumped at that? And Cano went to jump, and he got up maybe an inch. He went, okay, that's good. So 1 out on a liner to short, and there's Flowers, the 9th place hitter, 1 for 8 on the trip. Tyler waits, and that cutter or slider's outside for ball 1. Pretty good crowd tonight here also, and fireworks to follow this game. Hopefully we'll have some provided by the White Sox during it. And that one misses down. 2 balls, no strikes. on catcher Tyler Flowers. No score. We're in the third in Seattle at Safeco Field. Glad you're along with us tonight. White Sox baseball coming from the great Northwest. And fires ablaze in the state of Washington east of here. And the 2-0. Swinging a ground ball to short. Marte measures his stance, puts it back in the glove, takes it out, and throws him out.
Used to be taught you did not, as an infielder, take it out of your glove and put the ball back in there. Guys do it because they have time.
Right.
So they're not in a hurry. But you're taught not to do that. I always look at it this way. I don't really care as long as you catch and throw them out.
There are some players who believe get the ball over there as fast as I can. Right. I don't care if the throw's great. I want him to make it a good throw, but if I get it over there and it's fast enough, he can make a decision over there at the bag.
Yes.
So here's Eaton, 1 for 1. A single in the first and a caught stealing 2-4. And first pitch swinging, fouled, strike 1 to the left.
Told you earlier that saw the Mariners taking infield prior to the game. And I talked
They take it with a baseball?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Not the Phantom. Lloyd McClendon said they do it probably 3 times a week.
I like that. Here's the 0-1, Adam. High and inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. They also take outfield, too, with that, don't they?
They do. And you know what? They have select days where they actually just have the outfielders out there and throwing to a base.
I like that.
And then just the infielders another time.
Yeah.
But he just feels what we do. We talked about it, that it just keeps the guys fresh on what they're supposed to be doing.
That pitch close, but it's away. 2 balls and a strike on Eaton. I think it gets you ready for the action during the game, and it keeps you loose. When you take it, you could take it 20 minutes, 15 minutes before the game. It shows the fans something also.
Yes.
I think the fans like to see that. The 2-1. Ground ball foul. Now it's an even count of 2 balls, 2 strikes on Adam Eaton.
When you have infield and outfield practice, there's no batting practice going on.
Right.
It kind of puts you on display defensively. Yeah. And when you're on display defensively, you want to do it right. And batting practice, you're just catching ground balls and flipping them around. You don't pay much attention, and nobody's watching you because batting practice is going on.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Eaton. 2 down. No score. We're in the third. Felix steals the 2-2. Outside. He was heading to the dugout. Quinn Walcott called the ball 3-2 now on Adam Eaton.
That was way outside.
Explain the phantom infield, because you can work harder in that than you do with a baseball.
Well, you got a coach that's pretending to toss a ball up in the air and then swing and hit a ground ball to third base. Well, there is no ball, but the fielder's acting like there is, and he throws it to second, on to first for the double play.
The 3-2, a dribbler up the first baseline. Felix off the mound has it, gets to flip to first. Underhand. He had trouble getting that ball out of his glove and still got Adam Eaton. White Sox go up and out in order here in the third. Felix has retired the last 5. Bottom of 3 coming up from Safeco Field in Seattle. No score. Started for the Seattle Mariners. Hopefully that's not the case, but he's batting. He hits 8th, and Sucre, the catcher, bats 9th to face Chris Sale here in this third inning. And then top of the order, and that one a check swing. Foul tip, I guess, strike 1. Because Flowers couldn't catch it. It was on the inner half, and when he can't catch it, something else had to happen in that baseball. 1 strike.
Montero, 20 games. Hasn't been available very much this year, but I remember he was their top prospect for a while.
There's a swing and a miss on a changeup, 0-2 now. Sale marries that changeup with the fastball better than anybody I've seen lately in baseball, but we haven't seen everyone. But his slider is still devastating. He may get one here. The 0-2 pitch, there's the slider. He's out on strikes.
Yeah, Chris Sale's not the guy you want to face if you're not swinging the bat well, because he'll make you feel a lot worse about yourself.
You go back there and you say on the bench, you go, I stink.
You know, he just, well, yeah, that's true. But,
that's what you tell yourself. You know it as well as I do.
But this is a guy that you literally go back to the bench after an at-bat like Montero had, and you just look at your teammate and go, I had no chance.
Here's Jesus Sucre, and that pitch a little high for ball 1. Still working quick, and for the most part throwing first pitch strikes. Infield plays him straight up. The outfield fairly deep with one exception in right. Garcia. That one almost hit him. He heard his effects. And now somebody in our dugout's giving it to him. He's laughing at home plate.
He's laughing at himself for screaming.
Yeah.
A lot of players have done that.
There's somebody on him in the dugout. Hard.
Probably his own team.
I'm sure that's true also. Here's the 2-0. That's a strike, 2-1. One out, bases clear, no score. Third inning at Safeco Field in Seattle. That pitch outside, 3-1. He went 3-1 on Cano and then came back and got him. Cano struck out. Sale now has 5 strikeouts with Monteros in this third. The 3-1 popped up foul.
I just saw on our monitor here the hitting coach for the Mariners, new hitting coach, didn't start out that way for early part of the year, I believe. Edgar Martinez.
Yeah, he's with this club. Yeah, I saw him in the dugout earlier.
What a great hitter.
The 3-2. He walked him. So the Mariners have their second base runner, but the first since the double by Marte, who now comes home plate. How about a ground ball to Ramirez? 1 ball, no strikes, no score. Runner at first, and the 1-0 is swinging it. A ball hit off the end of the bat, past first. A ball and a strike on the Mariners shortstop.
Mentioned that the double that he had was actually off of the glove of the right fielder, over his head. Garcia plays shallow, and he's doing it again. He went back, was there, reached up as he was running back, lost sight of it, and off of his glove it went.
The 1-1. Marte, a line drive out of play to the right. He jammed him with that pitch. To say he's trying to go to right field, I would say that's the idea right now. When you do that and you're a Sale, what you want to do is throw him that slider down and in, because he's looking for the ball away. It gives you the idea, hey, this one's going to be down and away. And it comes towards you, and then all of a sudden you're going, oh, I'm out.
You know, generally when guys are late on fastballs, you say don't throw something slow.
There's a fastball way outside and high, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But with Chris Sale's breaking ball, it's a different beast altogether. Now, if somebody's late on your fastball, I don't think you should throw him a changeup.
No.
But his breaking ball is good enough to where he can feature it.
Sucre at first, Marte at home, and the pitch, the slider, he walked across home plate. Where was the pitch?
Well, so Marte thought he was going to the dugout.
Thought he was out.
He thought that was strike 3.
What's going on with Walcott back there? This ball covered all of home plate. There's no way that ball couldn't have crossed home plate.
Well, according to the hitter, that was the case.
Yeah.
He said, a reprieve.
The 3-2. Marte, a fly ball to right. Going back, Garcia with room. He's under it, makes the catch. And back to first is Sucre. Marte's happy he just made contact because he was out on strikes.
Well, that's a fact. I mean, he is out twice.
Yeah. There's Seager, 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
Chris Sale has a pretty high pitch count right now at 50 as he tries to get the third out here in the third inning.
Well, there's Seager, and before he bats, let's pause here 10 seconds for station identification on the score on this year White Sox Radio Network. Fourth inning, White Sox come to bat. Tyler Saladino will lead it off, and Abreu and Cabrera to follow. At the out-of-town scoreboard this inning, brought to you by Menards, where you save a lot of money on your home improvement needs. Please visit Menards. No score. White Sox have 2 hits. Mariners have 1, and it was doubled in the first inning off the glove of Garcia in right field that Marte hit the opposite way. If they called that a hit, I had no problem. If they called it an error, I didn't have a problem with that either.
Oh, well, I mean, I personally thought it should be an error because it wasn't the hardest play he's going to try and make out there.
Pitch to Tyler Saladino, strike 1 called. But they do it differently, these two, Darren. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But they actually do a lot of things the same. They throw strikes, they work quick, but the pitches are a lot different. The 0-1, Saladino takes a curve and a sweeping one up in 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, the difference between, to me, Sale and Felix Hernandez now is Felix doesn't have the overpowering fastball.
No, exactly. And at one time he did, and he could sink it too. We don't see a lot of sinkers from him as that one misses. 1 ball, 1 strike, or make that 2 balls, 1 strike on Tyler Saladino.
One of the hardest sinking fastballs and a great changeup to go with his other stuff. Now he's throwing 93-ish.
The 2-1. There's that slider. He got that over 2-2.
And if you want to use an example, we've seen John Danks hit 93 this year.
Yep.
And we talk about he doesn't have the velocity. So if we're talking John Danks has hit the same speed we see Felix Hernandez, when his fastball's not as dominant as it once was.
His slider has depth on it. This one is swinging a little looper in the left field. That'll fall in front of the left fielder, Gutierrez. Saladino leads off the 4th with a Gork shot to left. He's at first base.
But Felix Hernandez is still one of the premier pitchers. I mean, with great
no question.
stuff.
Knows how to pitch to the corners. He can have you going back and forth on a surfboard, can he?
Yeah, he has more, I think, options than, say, Chris Sale to go to. Chris has 3 dominant pitches that he changes speeds on, which makes it more pitches. But if you're talking about actual difference in pitches, he's got a curveball, a slider, a changeup, a splitter, a sinking fastball, a cut fastball. So Felix has a lot more options.
Ideals with Abreu. There's a breaking pitch missed. He looks at the home plate umpire like, where was that? Ball one.
I don't blame him.
No.
I mean, I don't want him to do well, but I was sitting over going, where's that?
I think that's exactly what Felix told the home plate umpire, yeah. Hernandez goes in, hey, where was it? It's low. 1 ball, no strike. Saladino at first. Abreu waits. The 1-0 cut on a miss. That was that running fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. I think it was anyway.
Well, I think it was, but he took a little off of it, too. 89 miles an hour. Saladino, this is a guy he can steal against, and the dirt out there, he's not going to stick like it was earlier. It's a little drier.
The last 28 games, Abreu has notched it up pretty good in the 330s. Here's the line drive following the play to the right. 328, I think it is, in that span. On the count 1-2 on Jose Abreu. This is where he becomes tough. They try to make a pitch. If they miss, he jumps all over it.
Yeah, you definitely, just because you get him to 2 strikes, and he will strike out, but he is also a good hitter with 2 strikes on mistakes. As the King Felix Court down there is standing up with the K's. Yeah. Whoa, a lot of those.
A lot of gestures out there. Checking the out-of-town scoreboard, as I mentioned, by Menards. San Francisco beat Pittsburgh 6-4 in the Steel City. Texas shut down Detroit at Comerica 2-0 Rangers. Get back to that scoreboard after the 1-2 pitch to Jose Abreu. Saladino a lead away from first. No outs. No score, 4th inning. He runs in the pitch. Abreu swings. Line drive right center field. On the move. Jackson reaches out. Can't get it. This is going to be a run scorer. Abreu goes to second. Saladino running on the pitch. Makes it home on the double. If he's not running, Darren, and that ball's misplayed like that, he still makes it, I think, home. But if he catches it, there's Austin Jackson. He's way doubled up.
Yeah, it seemed like Saladino was committed.
Yeah.
He was watching. He saw the ball was hit, but he just kept running, saying this can't be caught. Austin Jackson basically about 3 feet from making that grab. So Saladino
took a shot, didn't he?
He took a shot, and it worked out. And that RBI brought to us by the Village of Bedford Park. Relocate your business for success. Visit thevillageofbedfordpark.com.
So run home, nobody out. Abreu at second, and here's Cabrera bunting it to third. Up with it, Seager. The throw goes to first. Sacrifice moves Abreu to third. He's there with 1 out. Nicely done.
I absolutely love smart winning baseball. Again, don't know if Ron Ventura put the button on because
I don't think he did.
He doesn't normally do that with his better hitters. But you've got a hitter that's a veteran, knows that Felix Hernandez not easy to hook the ball against. He said, I got a job to do, and did it.
So here is Javi Garcia, single in the second, a chance to get him in. They'll play the infield basically halfway. And now Marte, the shortstop, moves back. Seager a step behind the bag at third. The left side, they're halfway towards home plate. All the way around now. And pitch to Javi, a swing and a pop-up down the right field line. This is slicing, and nobody's going to get this in a uniform for the Mariners. That's in the stands, and it bounces out towards the field of play, and the count 0-1 on Javi Garcia. Our engineer here at the ballpark, Zach Davies. Soar Studios, downtown Chicago. Joe Ostrowski and Rick Kemp working there. At Farmer alongside Darren Jackson, Safeco Field. The team arrived this morning at 3:30. The good thing is we had our bags with us. 1-1 the count. And the 0-1 pitch to Javi, cut on a miss. That may not have been a strike. 0-2 now.
Thank you, Joe Bonilla.
Yes. That court down there for King Felix?
Oh.
Yeah. Looks like a group of taxis. 0-2 the count, 1 out. Garcia trying to produce the second run of the inning. Abreu at third, and the pitch is swinging a foul. He jammed it with a fastball.
Went right at him, though, with the 0-2 pitch. And Garcia, I like the fact he was ready to hit. So often now we're seeing guys on 0-2 counts take fastballs right there.
If he makes his breaking ball look like a strike, I think he gets him. If it is not, and it is a strike, I think he can one-hand this in the right center or right field.
I agree with you. I mean, he's probably going to see something off speed here.
The 0-2 again. Right down the middle. A ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Where was that one? Because from our vantage point, I can't see how high it is. I just know where the pitch was thrown.
Well, it was something a little bit off speed, almost like a batting practice speed at 89 miles an hour. That could be just a splitter.
That's a great take. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Avi Garcia. And the 1-2. Garcia swings and misses. He's out on strikes.
That was the splitter. Talk about the perfect time to get your first strikeout.
Falls to Adam LaRoche now with a chance to pick up Garcia because he couldn't get the run in. Now LaRoche can.
You know, the irony to him striking out there, the previous pitch was better to hit.
Yeah.
And he didn't swing at that one. He swung at the one that bounced in the dirt.
LaRoche 0 for 1 with the deep fly to center. Abreu at third, a run across for the Sox. They lead 1-0. That pitch misses, ball 1. He's had a good eye against Felix in the right now at the second at bat. First one, he took the count to 3-1.
LaRoche, he draws some walks. He has 43 walks on the year, which is second highest total on the team behind Eaton's.
The 1-0, breaking ball in the dirt. The catcher saved the run. Sue Craig got on that in a hurry, and it caught it on one bounce.
Adam Eaton leads the team in walks. He has 44.
St. Louis at San Diego. The Cardinals are leading in the fourth, 1-0. Toronto 3. The Angels nothing in the second. In Anaheim, California. The 2-0 to LaRoche. That's low, 3-0. On deck, Ramirez. Does he want to face LaRoche? Doesn't look like it, Darren. Not the way he's pitched him anyway.
No, you're right. As it stands, it almost appears to me that he's saying, chase something out of the strike zone or go to first. I'll get the next guy.
3 balls, no strikes. We'll see if he turns it loose. The 3-0, that's a strike, 3-1. The Dodgers went to Houston, and they got beat today 3-0 by the Astros. And the Astros, they are doing it with defense and some pitching, that's for sure.
Well, their pitching has gone to the next level. They have picked up Kazmir, and they've just gotten better.
3 balls and a strike on LaRoche. Now it's 3-2 as he swings through that pitch. Houston is now 67-56. The Angels are 63-58. Right now, the Angels are 3 games back, depending on what happens tonight down there in Anaheim.
LaRoche chased the changeup that was almost in the dirt, or a splitter. Same thing that happened to Garcia.
4th inning, 1-0. A runner at third with 2 outs. Abreu. His double got Saladino around that pitch, and the inside corner is out on strike. I'm not so sure about that one.
Hard cutter on the inside corner.
So the White Sox go on this inning to run a couple of hits, and they leave a runner at third. Bottom of the 4th coming up from Seattle. Sox lead 1-0.
Sox over the Mariners. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Chris Sale to face Seager. Check that. To face Nelson, Cano, and Gutierrez here in this 4th.
Well, here's Nelson Cruz facing Chris Sale for the second time. That right down the middle for strike 1. Charge the strike zone. They don't swing. This is your thought. And it's strike 1. They don't swing at this. It's strike 2. The 0-1. He did swing at it. It's still strike 2.
Well, Cruz, who has had success against Sale, I think what you do is you show him the fastball, get him thinking about it, and then go really slow and down on him like he did last pitch.
The 0-2 pitch fouled out of play to the right. Two strikes on Nelson Cruz. They played very deep in the outfield, except Eaton in center. And the infield plays back. Ramirez's heels in left field. That one high, elevated on the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It is 1-0 White Sox here on the 4th. There's a swing and a bouncing ball foul past the White Sox dugout that hits Camberwell, just the left field side of that dugout. And Cruz is hanging in there with a count of 1-2. Nelson tonight 0 for 1, a swinging strikeout in the first. And Sale has a total of 5 of those through 3 innings pitched. And the 1-2. Now he's got 6. Gets Cruz for the second time, swinging and missing.
And he went really slow and down on and away from him. Good pitch.
So with 1 out, here's Robinson Cano. Struck out in the first inning. Well, he had Seager and Cruz, and then Cano did Sale after a leadoff double by Marte to right field. 1 out, bases clear. Sox leading 1-0 on a Abreu double with Saladino at first. And Austin Jackson came in and tried to make the play, and no, they had to make that run for shame to go get it. That's a strike on the outside corner to Robbie Cano. An average of 271, slugging percentage of 422, 13 home runs and 54 runs batted in. There's one rolled on the ground to second. He stopped running. Sanchez fields and throws out Cano, and he makes it 90 feet.
Cano, after hitting that ball, immediately started shaking his hands out because it hurt. He hit it off the end of the bat, and he got that vibration in there. That vibration hurts.
Here's Franklin Gutierrez, 0 for 1 with a fly ball to left. We're in the fourth, 2 down. Sox leading 1-0. If you Sale, you're not thinking about that score. You're thinking about throwing pitches in the strike zone. The other stuff takes care of itself later. Gutierrez, a fly ball out in the second. It takes strike one.
That looked like a fastball. Look up at the speed. It's 87 miles an hour. That's a great changeup.
293 is what he was hitting coming in. It's been adjusted to 290 with 7 home runs. The 0-1, a swing and a ground ball directly at Sanchez. The second baseman has this. Second time in a row, he throws out a Mariner batter, and they go 1-2-3. Sale, since the walk to Sucre in the third, has retired the last 5. To the 5th inning here at Safeco Field in Seattle. Sox lead 1-0. On the Abreu double after Saladino opened the 4th with a single. A little shot to left field that fell in front of the left fielder, Gutierrez. Then Abreu's double. Austin Jackson tried to make a running catch and couldn't get it. When he dove for the ball, it got by him and rolled towards the warning track. Saladino was off on the pitch anyway and did not look. He did look around, but he never stopped running. Scored. That's the difference in the game as we get to the White Sox 5th with Ramirez leading it off. First pitch swinging. That's a shot in the center field. That's a base hit. One pitch, a base hit for Ramirez. Or times, Darren, where he goes up there and he doesn't swing at anything, shows bunt, takes a strike. This was not that time.
No, I think that's kind of a setup. You know, you show him last time up that you might be patient, then you go up there this time and swing at a 91-mile-an-hour fastball out of the strike zone up, and you nail it. But a nice, simple swing by Ramirez, not overdoing anything. And hitters that want to slow everything down and simplify it, don't load up and swing as hard as you can. That's the approach you want to have, and you'll get hits that way.
White Sox have a run on 5 hits. The Mariners have a leadoff double from Marte in the first inning. Here's Sanchez, takes a curve in there for strike one.
That's a really good get-ahead pitch. Not even a roller. That was a curveball with some depth to it and just above the knees.
Carlos is 0 for 1 tonight, and on the road trip he is 3 out of 14. The line drive to the shortstop the first time up where Marte jumped. I don't know how high. Here's the 0-1 in the dirt to the backstop, and that is a wild pitch. And Ramirez is at second on the wild pitch. That's wild pitch number 6 for Felix Hernandez on the year.
So that means Sanchez goes from just trying to get a base hit to now making sure he advances the runner. And a good chance, even though it's a 1-1 count, he'll show bunt. As the third base coach, Joe McEwing, goes through a lot of signs.
I'm going to roll the dice here if I'm Ventura. 1 ball, 1 strike, the 1-1. Ball at home plate.
He rolled the dice.
Yeah.
It's
I thought
hard.
the bunt should have been in order. That doesn't mean. I mean, Robin just lets him hit.
Right.
But there are other times where he'll put the bunt on. He wants to see him hit.
Managers generally don't like to ask guys to bunt with a man on second base because you can drive a run in with a hit. But it is up to the batter to figure out how to get the job done.
The 1-2 to Sanchez in the dirt. And on top of that, quickly is Sucre, the catcher. The count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just saw a graphic. Last 19 road games, he's hit into over 400. That's how far we've broken down stats.
Well, I agree with that.
We're going to go for games started at 7-10 rather than 8-10 and vice versa.
I think there's some relevant stats when it comes to does a guy pitch better at night than the day because there's something different in his routine, things like that. Okay.
The 2-2, Sanchez foul tips in the catcher's mitt. He's out on strikes.
Does a guy play better in day games than night games? Better on the road or at home? I mean, I think that's relevant because you have different routines in a day game compared to a night game pregame. different on the road, your routine, compared to at home. So some things I get it, but there are a lot of other things. Hey, last 19 games he's doing this on the road. Why 19? Why not 50?
Exactly. Here's Flowers. Ramirez at second with one out. A single and a wild pitch has put him there. Sox leading 1-0. Flowers waits, and the breaking ball, ground ball left side in the outfield, gloved by the third baseman, throws to third. They don't get him. Marte had a throw from his backside there, and the throw was to the side of the third base bag going towards left field.
Well, Ramirez taking a chance. It worked out because of the throw being a little high. If it's low, they tag him and he's out on a ball that's hit to the right of him, and he didn't make sure it was through the infield first. There's no reason to do what he just did.
There's two chances tonight the White Sox have had that have come up aces. The other one was the running of Saladino on a ball that Abreu hit to right center field. It looked like Jackson may catch it, and he didn't care. He was running around third.
Yes, that's a good point. You know, it looks good when you're safe, but it's not the right play.
No, I agree.
When the ball's hit and the shortstop makes the play, your job when it's hit to your right of you as a base runner at second base is to make sure the ball goes through the infield before you try to advance. You're only going 90 feet on that anyway.
Right, and his throw was basically 45 feet, maybe.
Yes.
So here's Eaton with runners at first and third. Flowers at first, over at third, Ramirez with one out. And infielders look for a double play ball. The pitch is swinging a ground ball, just foul. Strike one.
Hey, Sox fans, all season long, you score with Papa John's Pizza. The day after the Sox score 5 runs or more, you get 50% off your entire online order at papajohns.com with the promo code SOX5. That's at participating Papa John's locations.
A run, 6 hits for the White Sox with that one by Flowers. To a board, one out. Sox leading 1-0 with a run across in the fourth on a double by Jose Abreu. Eden trying to get Ramirez in from third, though one. Close. He didn't get that one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You can see that Felix Hernandez, when men get in scoring position, and this is things for the coaching staff or the hitting coach or whomever or the hitters to recognize, really tries to make sure to keep the ball down, the sinker and the changeups down.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Flowers the lead away from first. Ramirez from third. The pitch is swinging a ground ball up the middle. That's through the wickets and into center field. Home Ramirez. It's now 2-0 White Sox. And Eaton has 2 hits and 3 trips and an RBI now with that single to center.
Nice hitting on a pitch that didn't get down enough and let Eaton a pitch to push right past the pitcher. Didn't hit it hard. And again, the Mariners are a team that they really don't pinch the middle of the field, which most teams do nowadays.
When we talk about fielding positions, the pitchers are the last ones in that department to be good fielders.
Yes.
Because this ball should have been caught.
Well, you know, his back was almost turned to the hitter. His face was looking at the hitter, and then it went right through his legs, but with his numbers facing the hitter.
Here's Saladino. Check swing. Did he go? Yeah. Quinn Walcott, the home plate umpire, said, indeed, you went too far. Strike one.
Did you fall off towards the first base line when you pitched, or did you get in a fielding position?
Yeah, I was in a good fielding position.
I mean, I don't know where it has gone to where it's acceptable now.
You have a lot of pitchers, Darren, right-handers that hit, and they spin either on the toe or their heel. That takes them over towards the first base line. Here's a chop to third. Seager has it. For second for one. Cano to first. Didn't get him. He had to elude the slide of one Adam Eaton and jump in the air. He didn't do much. You don't have to jump forward. You just jump high.
Well, let's just say this. Robinson Cano still just reminds you that he is the best at whipping a ball from second base to first with, I mean, he just caught it like a gunslinger right from his hip. He just flipped it with his wrist, and that ball was on the way to first. Jumping in mid-flight, he got rid of that.
With some steam on it.
Yes.
That's 5-4 on the out at second base. So Eden goes to the bench. Saladino sets up shop at first. On to third is Flowers. He's there with 2 outs. It's 2-0 White Sox, and here's the aforementioned Jose Abreu.
And I saw on the replay Adam Eaton sliding into second base.
Yeah.
And he had Cano jumping up, but he reached out and grabbed him across the thigh. You called for interference
on that. You're not allowed to do that. That's absolutely right. You go in there with your hands high, and you can go to his right side, but you can't grab him. That's in the dirt, ball one. Jose Abreu. A walk here would not surprise me.
It would me. And I say that because he's already been behind a batter in this game and still got the out of Adam LaRoche. Had him 3-0. threw him a changeup across the knees, threw him a changeup out of the strike zone he swung at, and then threw him a cutter on the inside corner, caught him looking. So I don't think Felix, it's in his mind to try and walk anybody.
He leaves something up. It could go. That pitch in. 2 balls, no strikes. Scoreboard doesn't even account up there. Now it has 1-0, but it's 2 balls, no strikes on Jose Abreu. This is the go pitch, and I doubt seriously if he gets a straight fastball, probably get a sinker, maybe a cutter. There's not going to be something straight.
Well, the pitch he has thrown in these situations so far tonight is the changeup.
Yep. The 2-0. There's the curve in there, 2-1.
Well, that tells you how good of a pitcher he is, because he knows the pitch he's gone to has been basically the changeup, so he changed it up and went to the curve.
They don't have to be great. They just have to be over, and that one was over.
Well, it made Abreu jump back out of the way. He thought he was about to be hit by that pitch.
I don't blame him. 2 balls and a strike, and the 2-1. A swing and a ground ball to short. A play for the shortstop. Marte goes the short way to second to Cano. They get the force on Salvadino, and that's it for the Sox. They do get a run in the inning on 3 hits, and they leave a pair to the bottom of the 5th here in Seattle. Sox now lead 2-0 over the Mariners. 2-0, adding a run in the top half of this 5th on 3 hits, and they left the pair. And for the Mariners here in this 5th inning, Trumbo, Jackson, Montero, and before one bats, let's pause here 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to White Sox Baseball on the Score, and this is your White Sox Radio Network.
Morris and Bernstein, afternoons 1 to 6, talking to Sox players, coaches, and of course, you. This is WSCR and HD Chicago, WJMK HD2 Chicago.
With Darren Jackson and Farmer, we're at Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington. 4 in Anaheim, and now 3 here with the Mariners. Tomorrow night's game, 7:35, the pregame show. 8:05 lineups, and the first pitch today, 10 is Sale deals the first one to Trumbo in there for strike 1. Here's 0 for 1 with a pop out to LaRoche in the second over by the Mariner dugout. 2 runs, 7 hits for the White Sox. Trumbo waits for the 0-1, a little low, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Mariners got a leadoff double from Marte in the first inning. And that's their only hit. Sale, strikeouts, he's got 6 of them. He's 2/3 of the way to his 7th. That's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mark Trumbo.
Earlier this year, the Mariners felt an addition offensively, which they needed, was to bring Trumbo in here and be a spark with them, a little extra power. Just not been the case.
The 1-2 pitch to Trumbo. That is the 7th strikeout swinging. The flag tonight is at half staff here for the firefighters that were lost in fighting a blaze here in central to eastern Washington. And a couple others were burnt severely in that had to be airlifted out, taken care of. Our thoughts and prayers are with their families for sure. We're all in this together, friends. 1 out, bases clear, and Austin Jackson, a strikeout victim in the second, bats with 1 out here in the Mariners' 5th. They're down 2-0. That misses, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Jackson swings, high fly ball to right field. Garcia got a good break on this one to the sidewall. It's out of play. That's 4 or 5 rows in. I mentioned it yesterday, and I don't want to go too far with this because he's a friend of mine, and I want you to remember him in your prayers. Former quarterback of the Bears. Can't get his name out right now.
Eric Kramer.
I just can't say it. Just a great guy. The 1-1 pitch, a swing and a foul tip, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just whatever happened, I don't know what happened in a shooting in Calabasas, California. Our thoughts and prayers are certainly with his family. The 1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Sale has 2 strikeouts in the inning as he gets Trumbo. Now Jackson swinging. That's 8. And Kramer also played with the Detroit Lions. I believe he went to North Carolina State. That was a breaking pitch, Darren, that covered most of the left-handed batter's box and then half of home plate. It looked like a strike, but it wasn't.
Well, what we're saying is White Sox batters and Mariners batters swinging at pitches down out of the strike zone.
That pitch cracks in there for strike 1 to Jesus Montero, the first baseman. Also a change in the uniform. I mentioned the blacktop uniforms with the number 9 and the number 19 and a diamond on the right side of the White Sox uniforms tonight. 9 is for Minnie Minoso, who passed away, and Billy Pierce, who passed away on July 31st. I saw his lovely wife Gloria and certainly gave the condolences from my family. I've known Billy a long time, just a great guy, as we all miss him. And Minnie Minoso, great guy. The 0-2 pitch high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I didn't play with Billy Pierce, but I did have Minnie Minoso as a teammate.
Yeah,
he got a hit. It was like 65.
Yeah, that I guess that counts.
Yeah, we played in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and the 80s. Here's one rolled past third foul. The count holding it 1-2 on Jesus Montero, the first baseman.
Yeah, that made him the only man ever to play in 4 decades.
Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. We're in the 5th at Safeco Field. Sox 2 runs, 7 hits. The Mariners don't have a run. And the 1-2 was swinging a foul over the backstop. He's hanging in there. The count holding at 1 ball, 2 strikes on Montero. Last time up and only time up, he was strikeout victim number 5. That was in the 3rd. We're in the 5th. Sale struck out the side in the 1st. He's trying to do it again here in the 5th. Standing his way, Montero. And the next one, fastball down the middle. He got him, and he struck out the side. He's got 9 through 5 to the 6, 2-0 Sox. White Sox come to bat here in the 6th. They lead 2-0.
And by the way, Ed, if the Sox hit back-to-back-to-back home runs in this 6th inning, someone's going to win a 2015 Mazda 6. Just tune into the pregame show each day to find out how you can enter for your chance. Brought to you by C.J. Wilson Mazda, home of ZoomZoomNation.com.
Cabrera laid it off, and Melky 0 for 1. It also has a sacrifice bunt. 2-0 Sox. Hernandez with the first one. Curve in there for strike 1. Not so sure about that one. That looked like the catcher, Sucre, had to reach around the right-hand batter's box to corral that one. 274. The 0-1 in the dirt. That's handed right back to the umpire. They don't even try to throw the ball back to the pitcher. Catcher just puts it over his shoulder. Here you go. Give me a new one.
Oh, yeah.
We're broadcasting from the U.S. Bank radio booth here in Safeco Field. Glad you're with us. 2-0 Sox. Next one to Melky. That looked better than the first one. 2 balls and a strike.
I agree. That's one where the pitcher becomes a little confounded going, wait a minute, what's going on here? The other one was outside.
Hernandez with a 2-1. Make that 3-1. And Felix Hernandez is disgusted with what's going on.
It's funny because it used to be considered the makeup call. If an umpire missed one.
That's a great point because that's the truth.
Missed one, and then all of a sudden he'd give it to the hitter or the pitcher after that.
The 3-1. He walks. Walks are brought to you by Thornton. They fill a backpack full of school supplies for the Kids in Need Foundation. So the leadoff man on a walk. First one tonight for Hernandez. And he will deal with Avi Garcia.
Before he does, a reminder, the first 25,000 people to attend the Chicago White Sox game receive a game card courtesy of Jewel Osco with a coupon for $10 off the purchase of anything over $100 or more. Jewel Osco, keeping it fresh, keeping it local. Get your tickets by calling 866-SOX-GAME or visit WhiteSox.com.
Garcia tonight, a single and a strikeout. Cabrera at first, not going anywhere on the pitch. Cut on a miss, strike 1. Is that the curve again?
Oh, yeah. When you watch Avi Garcia take a swing like that, he wasn't very close to the curveball, folks. And there are times where he's not very close to the fastball. You wonder how the heck he's doing it. He's hitting 265, which is respectable, but he's just figures a way to still get his hits.
Cabrera at first in the 0-1, in with a running fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Where is this speed gun? Because that didn't look like it was 90 miles an hour. It looked like it was somewhere in the 80s, and it was probably over 90.
It was 93 miles an hour.
Maybe it was the run on the fastball that fooled me, because Garcia just moved out of the way like, hey, this isn't even there. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1 to Avi. A swing and a miss, 1-2 now.
That, the changeup. And Felix Hernandez is the kind of pitcher when you hit against him, you could 3 pitches. You can get the curveball one, the changeup the next, and the fastball the next, and all of them strikes. And you can swing and miss each one of them. So he can definitely make you feel a little bit bad about your swing on a night.
Infield looks for a double play ground ball. 1-2 on Garcia. Cabrera at first is a jam shot on the ground. The count holding it 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Would you say, and let's say since the 90s on up, that the new, ceiling that pitchers are trying to reach if they have a Hall of Fame type career would be 250 wins instead of the 300 plateau.
I'd say 250 would get you in. Yeah.
I mean, because Hernandez has got a chance to get to 250 or so, but 300, I don't think so.
300, I mean, you got to pitch a long time, or you got to have great gloves behind you. The 1-2 again, Garcia, another foul ball, and a running, sinking fastball.
You know, has 139 wins now. And you mentioned that I believe he just turned 29 this year.
Yeah, he's 29 years of age. April 8th was his birthday.
So
look, still is.
So he plays 10 more years till he's 39. Let's just go there. Stays healthy and wins 15 a year.
That's a lot of games to win.
That's 150. That's 150 wins with his 139 right now. That's still under 300.
Right. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Avi. The 1-2 in the dirt. Nice stop by the catcher, Sucre. That bounced well in front of home plate. He took the abuse with putting his chest down and blocking it.
And, you know, that's averaging 15 wins a year. And, you know, that's not an easy thing to do. And you just mentioned you got to play on some good teams. Hernandez, to this point in his career, has not been averaging 15 wins a year. That's for sure.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Cabrera may be running. He's not. The 2-2. Bounce past third, foul. This is a battle right now with Garcia and Hernandez.
And just looking over his career, 15-6 last season for Felix. The year before that, 12-10. He had 13 wins the year before that. So he's averaging below 15 over the last 3 years. Then 14 wins, 13 wins still.
He's got 14
down.
right now.
Yes, he does. Career high 19-5 season in 2009. But 9-11, 14, another 12. So, I mean, he has only reached the 15 plateau prior to this year 2 other times.
I believe he's got, well, by my count, about 8 starts left. Cabrera runs the pitch, a ball, the throw to second base. Cabrera's in the second. I didn't like the grip that Sucre had on that baseball, Darren, when he made the exchange.
Well, it turns out that he made a fairly accurate throw.
Yes.
It just seemed like it took him a second to get the grip and throw it.
Cabrera stole that on the pitcher, too.
Oh, yes, he did. High leg kick from Felix, and he takes time to get rid of it once he takes that ball out of his glove.
3 balls, 2 strikes now on Avi Garcia. Garcia is talking to Marte from his position at second base, not bird dog by Cano in the 3-2. A swing and a ground ball. Cabrera almost got caught off second base. Felix looked at second, forgot about the batter. Garcia has an infield hit.
That's awesome. And the thing about it is, Felix thought he was going to do the right thing. He caught that ball and actually falling off balance toward third base. Looked as if Cabrera would be running. He was ready to throw to third base, then looked to second, and then said, wait a minute, there's a guy running to first. Turns, too late. Garcia was already past the base.
That was an afterthought, first base.
Absolutely. He looked to third, then, too late. You got to remember that Garcia... We can
run, that's true.
Yes, we can say that for a big guy, he runs fast. He just runs fast.
Yeah, he does a nice job. And Hernandez, when he didn't see Cabrera, he looked to find out where he was. That's when he forgot where Garcia was. So 2 on with nobody out, a walk and a hit for LaRoche. Is he bunting?
No, I don't see him bunting. He hasn't bunted this year.
Well, his surprise is on his side. He's swinging, and that's low for ball 1.
I know Robin Ventura is not going to ask him to bunt because he hasn't done that all year long, and I don't see him changing his patterns. So LaRoche, you're hoping instead he hooks one into the corner in right field.
Yeah, or hits one out. The 1-0 had him swings and a shot foul past first. There's a person down there catching the foul balls, so slowing him down anyway.
She's giving herself the best chance, at least. She's got a huge glove on down there. Smart move.
Looks like a cesta and a highlight.
A what?
A cesta.
What's that?
That's the highlight, what they use. It's got a little basket and a glove that you put your hand into.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever seen highlight.
They have it in Miami, or used to. 1 ball, 1 strike, the 1-1. LaRoche takes a strike, 1-2 now. Runners at first and second. White Sox trying to add here in the 6th to a 2-0 lead. Big pitch here for Felix Hernandez and also for Adam LaRoche. And the 1-2. Check swing. Did he go? No. I thought he had gone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I'm glad he got the call.
Oh, yeah. But I agree with you. I thought he had went as well. See a little side angle here. That's a swing.
2 runs, 8 hits for the White Sox. A double for the Mariners off Marte's bat, leading the Mariners first off. So even count of 2-2. Does he get the slider here or the changeup? I'm leaning towards the change on 2-2.
I think he's going to see the same breaking ball.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and the 2-2. Struck him out swinging.
Well, it was something down and moving down towards the ground, whether it was a breaking ball or the changeup. It got him.
That's the 4th strikeout for King Felix. He deals with Alexi Ramirez.
He has got one of the better changeups in the game. And I believe that's what it was, but it goes down like a breaking ball.
Pitch to Ramirez, the breaking ball in there for strike 1.
So you had Ramirez last time up, leading off the 5th inning. First pitch, high fastball, base hit. This time he's taking the curveball for a strike. So I think from at bat to at bat for Ramirez, it's some kind of game. He doesn't know what it's going to be till he gets on deck. He goes, you know what, I'll take this time.
Runners at first and second. The 1 strike pitch popped him up. Short center field. Out goes the shortstop Marte. In comes Jackson, the center fielder, make the play. Another 2 men on and 2 outs. And it falls to Carlos Sanchez, the second baseman. This looked promising a couple batters ago.
Oh, it did. It started out pretty well, but no. Oh, boy, no. I was going to say, Sox fans, the first 25,000 fans at Chicago White Sox home games from July 17th through August 26th, which is closing in, will receive a Hubbard Inn game card good for 20% off a meal at Hubbard Inn, Barn & Company, and Juliet's. Get your tickets by calling 866-SOX-GAME.
So here's Carlos Sanchez, 0 for 2 and overdue. That pitch framed by Sucre, the catcher, but it was outside ball 1 with a hook. I think that was a curveball. 1 ball, no strikes.
This is where you want to see Sanchez, as they look like they might want to work him away. Just poke that ball down that left field line, which he used to do very well.
Yes, he did. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 to Carlos. Cut on a miss. 1-1. And Hernandez is jumping around on the mound, almost trying to amp himself up with some words of wisdom, loud enough for the batter to hear them.
Pitch count is up there now at 98.
Yeah. He's just in the 6th inning. 2-0 White Sox. 2 on and 2 outs. And the next one to Carlos. Breaking ball fouled on the ground, and the count now 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's gone slower to him rather than faster.
Felix Hernandez looked like he fell off the mound a little bit with a bit of a limp, and now his catcher's out talking to him. You ever, I know this happens, but when you stride towards home plate, kind of roll your ankle a bit?
No.
Didn't have any problems because I've seen guys
you can
do
hit
that.
Sideways on that little landing area.
Right.
But, yeah, no, never did that. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sox trying to add a run here at least. And the 1-2 to Carlos. A swinging a line drive to right. That's going to get 1 in, and that's going to go past the right fielder Cruz. That goes all the way to the wall. Garcia around third. Cano has it. The throw's going to go to third base. Sanchez is going to be out at third base. They give him a double and 2 runs batted in. The White Sox double the score here in the 6th. In the inning, a couple of runs, 2 hits, a walk, and a runner thrown out at third, and nobody left. 4-0 White Sox as we go to the Mariners half of the 6th inning.
Sox fans, it's Ron Ventura. Listen to every
4-0 lead for the White Sox as Carlos Sanchez delivers in the clutch, bringing around Garcia and Cabrera before he was nailed at third base on the 9-4-5 putout. But it gives Chris Sale that extra cushion. Makes you just feel good about yourself when you're out there pitching.
You don't back off the accelerator here in the 6th if you're Sale either. And that pitch, close to the ball. I guess it was outside. Where was that?
That's the question. I have no idea.
If it catches the corner, that's a strike, isn't it?
As far as I know.
There's the 1-0. That's down the middle. That's a strike. 1-1. This is Jesus Sucre, the catcher. He's batting .091. There's a couple ways to look at that. If you're him, he's going, 91. That's strike 2. 1-2 now. He walked him the first time.
What was that little 91 thing?
91.
Yeah, that's not good.
The next one, close. They take it for a ball. The count should be 2 balls, 2 strikes. The scoreboard has not been right tonight here on this ballpark, and it's 3-1. But get the bad news after Sale strikes him out. May didn't strike him out. High fly to center. Unplayable for Eden. He went back. Over comes Garcia, and he says, get out of here. And he makes a catch.
Adam has got that little thing about him. He will call off everybody. He wants to catch everything. And, you have to know that as a right fielder. The problem with that is, or a left fielder, if you've got a center fielder that's calling everything all the time, calling you off balls that are pretty routine for you, you start to back down a little bit saying, he's going to come catch this anyway. You've got to make sure as a center fielder, you're the captain out there, your guys are making the plays that they should.
1 out. And here's Ketel Marte's taking strike 1. Here's a shortstop, a double, leading the game off in the bottom of the first, and a single to center field in the 5th. Check that one. What was that?
Change up, swing and a miss.
He's out on strikes.
Yeah. That's 10 again for Sale.
He had a double in the first, then a fly ball to right. That's where he went. Now he goes to the bench with a strikeout, and Sale's got 10. By the way, they're warming Farquhar, the reliever, in the bullpen and left for Seattle.
12 times this year now for Sale. He's had 10 or more strikeouts.
He's just getting warmed up, isn't he?
I don't know about all that. Well,
he deals with Kyle Seager, the third baseman, and deals one down around the middle, strike 1.
But you can definitely say with 10 strikeouts and 85 pitches, he became much more efficient because early he had a high pitch count in the third inning.
There's the 1 strike pitch to Seager. Make it 2 strikes. Not taking time. You're not getting out of the batter's box, and you're not taking enough to say, I'm locked in. He's calling time now. Sale's ready to deal. 2 outs, base is clear, and the 0-2. Seager takes a pitch right on the outside half. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sale's got the ball again. He's ready to go.
Yeah, that credit to Flowers. Catch it, throw it back. Let's get ready.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The lone defender on the left side. Saladino, there's the swing and a miss. Sale gets 2 strikeouts. He's got 11. They'll go to the bench. We're going to the 7th. White Sox 4, Mariners nothing.
Chicago Sports Talk is what we do on the Spiegel.
The White Sox lead the score 4-0, and a pitching change for the Mariners. Out Felix, in Danny Farquhar. So we send him to the showers. It's sponsored by the Plumbers Union Local 130 UA, where plumbers protect the health of the nation. Farquhar on the year, 28 games, no wins, 3 losses, earned run average .566. And talking to the skipper of the Mariners, Lloyd McClendon, he said that, overall things have been getting better and better for the team, but early in the year and a continuation, the bullpen has had a lot of struggles. They've blown 19 saves this year, the Mariners.
That's a ton.
Oh, yeah. Think about that. They're 56-65, which puts them 9 games under 500. 19 blown saves changes your whole season if you're even close to that mark.
Say you got 15. That's 15 more wins.
Yes. And that's
not all
manageable.
19 blown saves or losses, though. We should take that into consideration.
Good point.
Last year, Farquhar 3-1 with an earned run average of 62.66 in 66 games.
That guy that points to the sky like he's got an arrow.
Yeah.
He's blown a lot of saves, and he's got a high earned run average, 5-5 for Fernando Rodney, and a .519 earned run average. You put a target on your chest when you're animated and do things, and hitters want to get you.
Oh, yeah. There's a bouncing ball to third, charging Seager, tough hop, stays with it. The throw, he's got some skills. He gets Flowers, 5-3 on the out. Numbers on Felix Hernandez tonight: 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 4 strikeouts, and a wild pitch. The final line of his pitching is brought to you by Miller Lite. Enjoy Miller time responsibly, friends, and always designate a driver. "100 pitches for Felix Hernandez tonight." So with one out, here's Eaton bunting this one over the backstop. Strike one. He got some length on that one.
I like it. It's, to me, I don't understand it. It should be communicated to your team how much a bunt can put pressure on a defense and change the game for your team. I saw the other day a game where a leadoff hitter of an inning put down a bunt for a base hit. The guy behind him put down a bunt, and both of them were safe, and it changed the inning.
1 strike pitch, foul tipped in the catcher's mitt.
I mean, now there's 2 men on and nobody out, and the defense is going, what just happened? I mean, I like that. I think it really changes the game for you in a positive way, and on the defense, it's kind of deflating when you get 2 guys just bunting balls and you're hustling to make a play and you can't.
A lot of people think it's easy to bunt. It's easy to get a ball down, I understand. It's not that easy to get a bunt hit all the time. Unless they're playing back. If they're playing back and you have pretty good speed, you're going to beat it out.
Look, I will never, and I knew how to bunt, and I was pretty good. I got base hit bunts and all that. It is not easy to bunt. You're going to mess some of them up. You're going to bunt them back to the pitcher. You're going to bunt them too hard to the baseman. But, I mean, it's not easy, and I don't care what anybody says. Everybody should be able to bunt is not true.
0-2 to Eden, inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. How about this? Farquhar came from the Yankees to these Mariners with DJ Mitchell, a right-handed pitcher, for Ichiro Suzuki. That was back in 2012.
Yeah. Ichi's still going.
The 1-2. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's how you call him?
Yes.
Does he know that?
Yeah. Hey, Ichi, what's up? Absolutely. We were, played against each other in Japan. We were on the same all-star team there, all that stuff. So, we're tight.
Okay. He trying to get out. The 2-2 pitch to Adam. A swing and a shot on the ground to short. A velvet hand play by the shortstop Marte. And Darren, he does it a little differently than most. He circles the ball as he's catching it with the glove far to his left. And he's in a position to throw you out quickly.
Yeah, he looks like he's got some skills. I mean, I like his hand-eye coordination out there defensively. He gives himself a chance.
Sox bat here on the 7th, leading 4-0 on 9 hits. The Mariners, they have 1 hit. Marte's double leading the game off. And that was suspect at best also, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I personally thought it was an error.
Here's Saladino batting. The pitch to Tyler, breaking ball over for strike 1 tonight. A fly out to center, a single run scored. Reached on a force play. Our fielder's choice in the 5th. The 0-1 outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't think that's the fielder's choice when you go to second for 1 and don't get the double play. There's 1 up and in. The count 2-1 on Tyler Saladino. The third baseman Seager had it, went to second, and then tried to throw it to first. That was the play. They got the force at second base 5-4. So they say fielder's choice. That's actually a force out.
Well, they're one and the same.
Not really. Here's the 2-1. Did you think the third baseman was going to go to first? He had a choice to go to first. That's what you were thinking?
You do have a choice. You can throw to first and get the out, or you can throw to second. That's which one you choose.
He was trying to get a double play. Well, so why would you go to first? Here's a swing and a line drive to center. That's a base hit.
I mean, logically, you want the double play first, but if you get 1 out, okay.
If he goes to first on that play, I don't know the manager that well, but I think McClendon goes, come here, young man. You're going to be sitting down.
Oh, no, not in today's baseball. But it is a force out.
Yeah, it's a force at second base. It's not a fielder's choice. Fielder's choice, if he's running and he has no other choice, fielder's choice goes to first base. He gets him 5-3. This one, he's trying to start a double play, trying to get the end of a double play, get the force at second, go to first.
It. Yeah.
So I think you're splitting hairs, but if the third baseman doesn't take the out at second base, he's not on the team long.
I just think they're one and the same. It's a force out on a fielder's choice.
1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0, a sky-high fly in a short right field. Cano drifts out there. With time reached up, makes a catch. Almost a boredom type of catch by Cano. And they leave Saladino at first. They'll stand for the stretch here at Safeco in the 7th. White Sox leading 4-0.
We're Chicago guys talking about Chicago's.
Mariners come to bat here in the 7th. They're down 4-0. Sale's ready to go. He goes, get in the batter's box, let's go. Nelson Cruz is in the batter's box, and Sale's first one. Foul ball on the ground, strike one.
You know, what becomes a point of interest is that fly ball to right field now, as they just showed it on the monitor, the only hit in this game to this point. There we go.
Swing and a hit to right field.
That changes everything.
Jinxed him.
No, they just showed it on the monitor, and they were showing the official score. The ball that Garcia had off of his glove that was credited as a hit. And they were showing that and commenting on the fact that they thought it probably was an error. But now that changes everything anyway, because nobody's going to talk about the fact that they threw a 2-hitter.
The TV crew jinxed him?
Somebody did. I don't know. That's, if you believe in that.
The baseball people believe in that. You know that.
Some people.
It's almost like the force play in the fielder's choice.
Hey, you got a no-hitter going, that kind of thing.
There's Nelson Cruz at first base with Cano at home plate, jumping out of the way of that one for ball one.
How about
got nailed.
How about the history of the game? Okay.
Yeah.
You've got a team you're throwing a no-hitter against, and it's the 7th inning. You got to realize everybody in the other uniforms going, hey, you got a no-hitter going. And the guy still throws a no-hitter, so apparently it's not a jinx. You're with me, or did I lose you at hello?
I'm with you, but
okay.
The 1-0. Swinging a line drive to center. That's a base hit. Here come the Mariners. They have runners at first and second with no outs here in their 7th. Sale has 11 strikeouts, and they have 2 hits in this inning. They had 1 come into this inning.
So it seems the third time through the lineup, through the heart of this lineup, they're figuring things out a little bit better.
That phone is ringing in the White Sox bullpen right now.
Robinson Cano right there with a beautiful, short, compact swing. Has one of the prettier swings in baseball.
Here's Franklin Gutierrez. Just a touch here, friends. This is not a lead that you can relax and say, oh, yeah, this game's over. It is 4-0 Sox. And Gutierrez certainly could put a chill into one. That one down the middle for strike one from Sale. A double play will extinguish a pretty good blaze right now for the Mariners.
The thing about Chris Sale right now, I think that's a wake-up call. A couple of base hits, and he's like, wait a minute. Let me get back to what I was doing. I'm going to have to use everything. These guys are ready to hit first pitch, so let's just go to work.
Gutierrez waits the 1-strike pitch in the dirt. Flowers keeps that ball in front of him. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the 7th. 4 runs, 10 hits for the White Sox. Nothing on 3 for Seattle.
New ball in play, and here's a reminder. Sox fans, head to your local Famous Dave's and receive a scratch-and-win ticket for your chance to win a trip to New York to see the White Sox play the Yankees, or throw out a first pitch at a White Sox game. Great offers from Famous Dave's. Also discounts for White Sox tickets. Get to Famous Dave's today.
The 1-1 to Gutierrez. Close did get the call. Sale, 2 balls and a strike. Fernando Rodney starts to warm in the Mariner bullpen and left.
Bring him in.
2 balls and a strike. The infield, a double play depth. Sale reading signs, hanging him down. Flowers behind home plate. Make it a good one. The 2-1. Foul to the backstop on the ground. 2-2. He turned something over on him.
Yeah, that's the changeup. And as you described it, turned over away from him. And Gutierrez's vision, it looked like a fastball away until he took a swing at it.
You want him. Sale will take the strikeout. What he wants, Gutierrez hit a ball on the ground to the shortstop. Two balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 to Franklin. Right down the middle, strike 3. He's got a dozen.
You don't help yourself out when you flinch the bat just a little bit, because in the umpire's eye, he's watching it, and you almost wanted to swing, so it was close enough. You got to go.
Yeah, you got to go. That ball, it looked like it was going to be low, Darren. I'm not so sure. It didn't cross the knees, and it did cross the knees from the side view.
Sale with 12 strikeouts again.
Yeah. Here's Trumbo. Mark tonight. 0 for 2, a fly to left and a grounder. Check that. Trumbo a pop to first and a strikeout, number 7 for Sale at the time. He's got a dozen. And pitch high for ball 1 to Mark Trumbo.
8 times this year for Chris Sale now. He's had at least 12 strikeouts.
Tomorrow, Rodon will pitch against. That one's outside. Against Vidal Nuno. The pregame show tomorrow, 7:35 with Chris Ronchi. Lineups 8:05. First pitch at 8:10.
You know, you mentioned that Rodon's pitching for the White Sox. He's one of those guys that I seriously cannot wait to watch pitch every time because I want him to be that guy that's dominant.
The 2-0, a swing and a fly ball deep right field. Garcia going back to the track. He's at the wall. This is gone. It's a one-run ball game now. Trumbo has hit home run number 7.
That's why they went and traded for Trumbo from the Arizona Diamondbacks. That pitch right over the heart of the plate, and Mark Trumbo has, for a right-handed batter, probably the best power the other way in the game. I'm talking about over Abreu. I saw him in Anaheim that game probably about 8-9 years ago. Hit a ball to right field, the hardest right-handed home run the other way I've ever seen. Line drive over the fence in about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3 in the seats.
Here's Austin Jackson taking pitch 1 low for ball 1. So they get close to the Mariners. 3 hits in this inning. A bomb to right after the first 2. The 1-0 to Jackson. Fouled out a play to right. 1 ball, 1 strike. It started with a Cruz single to right. Then Cano hit one past the shortstop Ramirez in the center field. Gutierrez struck out. Trumbo just homered for the 7th time in right center. This one to Jackson. A late swing that went right. That foul ball went right over the head of the on-deck man, Jesus Montero.
Again, a wake-up call. I mean, Chris Sale's battling in this inning. He's now thrown 103 pitches.
The 1-2 struck him out. He's got 13 strikeouts now to Sale with 2 in this inning. He will deal with Montero.
Jackson has had no chance. Let's make it the same thing for Montero, who is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Let's get him the hat trick as well.
He may be first pitch swinging, and the delivery from Sale, breaking ball over strike 1. Now we're doing it a little differently in this inning. The breaking ball is emerging. The changeup's working. The fastball was hit. Chris with the 0-1. Jesus foul tips in the catcher's mitt. He's 2/3 of the way to a strikeout.
You know, it's a good sequence of pitches there. The slow curve ball, and it's hard for the hitter after that to time the fastball, so it was just late.
Sale's 0-2, down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 4-3 White Sox with a 3-run homer here for the Mariners. The pitch foul back. Count only to 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jesus Montero, the Mariners' first baseman. As I mentioned, he's been up twice. The whiff both times. Sale struck out the side in the first, so struck out the side again in the 5th. And now trying to get the side in strikes here, and this one's fouled on the ground, and White Sox bullpen is working.
Yeah, if this is one of those innings where you strike out the side, you kind of discount it if you're pitching because
Oh, you're upset. There's no question. You go there and say, why did I make that pitch? 1 ball, 2 strikes. But you have fortitude getting through the inning. The 1-2 down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We have our fax mic too far or too close to someone down there. He's had too many tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch, he's out on strikes. Sale strikes out the side. He's got 14 Mariners on strikes in the inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, a 3-run homer by Trumbo, his 7th to the pavilion and right. 7 complete is 4-3 White Sox.
3 White Sox lead. We're in the top of the 8th inning, and White Sox have 10 hits, just to 4 for the Mariners, but a big one, a 3-run home run by Mark Trumbo, closes the gap against Chris Sale. A pitching change For the Mariners, Fernando Rodney comes in, 54th game, 5 wins, 5 losses, a .519 earned run average on the year, 16 saves and 22 chances. So Rodney, he has blown 6 chances this year, giving up 8 home runs. That's a lot for Rodney, who, let's just say he likes attention because he's got a different look working again.
Different look?
Oh, yeah.
He has a beard, but no sideburns, and part of his beard is black, and the other part of it is blonde.
That looks orange.
He went from blue beard to orange beard?
It looks like it.
Okay. Pirate-like is Fernando Rodney, and the delivery high for ball 1 to Melky Cabrera. They booed him when he came in the game. Danny Farquhar, 1 inning, 1 hit. One ball, no strikes on Melky Cabrera. Sox need to get some more runs. They lead 4-3 here in the 8th. There's a swing and a miss at that splitter. 1 ball, 1 strike, or a changeup.
You know how you said need to get more runs?
Yeah.
I always look at it like you're winning.
Right.
They need to get more runs, but I agree with you. In today's baseball, you don't get enough run support.
You don't think you're safe here, do you, at 4-3? There's a swing and a ground ball, base hit right field.
You know, I always like to think about our guys are good enough. They're not going to score again, but that's just not the case. So, yeah, I mean, you get opportunities to score runs, just keep on pressing, keep on pounding the baseball.
We're in the 8th inning. The 8th inning is brought to you by Beggar's Pizza. Stay tuned to the post-game show with Chris Raji for your chance to win a Beggar's $50 gift card. The website is beggarspizza.com. They lay it on thick. So a runner at first for Avi Garcia. A single, a strikeout, and a single and a run scored in the 6th. Rodney look at first, and he deals a high strike.
Rodney's velocity
That's the first
down.
time tonight that was called a strike at that elevation.
A 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Fernando Rodney. I don't know if he's saving a little in the tank because he will do that, but here's a guy that in the past was throwing 97, 98.
1 strike. Cabrera at first in the 0-1. That's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. All relievers go through it. Sometimes it's just a blip on the radar screen. Other times they're going south on you and you have to make a decision. Usually it comes to dollars and cents that are pressed. 1 ball, 1 strike. That doesn't mean that you can't go somewhere else and reaffirm what he's trying to do with pitching. The 1-1 to Garcia, pull foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's the equalizer pitch for Fernando Rodney. He's got one of the better changeups in the game.
Does Sale come out to start the bottom of the 8th?
I'd say no.
He's got 14 strikeouts. He's given up 3 runs on 4 hits and 3 on 1 swing from Trumbo, a 3-run homer. He did strike out the side in the 7th inning also. Cabrera at first, the count 1-2 on Garcia, and Cabrera the last time up was on and stole second base. This one's fouled to the right, now to play. A missed play over there at the end of our broadcast center.
So the fans are all over him, too.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 8th inning. Sox up 4-3. White Sox have 11 hits, the Mariners but 4. Cabrera at first. Garcia waiting for Fernando Rodney. Calls time, and I don't blame him. Beautiful night here in Seattle. Temperature holding somewhere at 70 degrees or slightly under that, maybe 68. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No wind whatsoever. The 1-2 pitch, Garcia fouls that one off. The question is, and I'm sure the Mariners are running this one around in the front office along with the manager and the coaches, does he have enough to use his sinker and get outs? And I think he does, but will he use that rather than stay with what's worked in the past? And that's the hardest thing for a reliever, to give up how he once was to make an adjustment.
I think that's a great point. I think very difficult if you're used to really bringing the heat and you don't bring it anymore to back down.
Next one, Navi, rolled on the ground, foul.
You know, you've talked about certain guys in the past that pitched for the White Sox, like a Bill Seamus.
Yes.
who he threw it as hard as he could, and he thought he was blowing it by people, and it's going up there at 89, 88 miles an hour, and he's like, they couldn't catch up to the heat, Farmio.
Oh, that's true. A lot of them can think of that, too.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. They don't have a chance.
But, I mean, if you believe in it, I mean, you throw it with conviction. I mean, sometimes you sell it to the hitter, and they go, man, this guy's bringing it. He's got some confidence. He's not really.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Avi swings, line drive to third. Seager has it. Throws back to first. And Cabrera back there in a hurry. So he hasn't going to pop up a single on a line out to third. And here's Adam LaRoche. LaRoche tonight, 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a fly to center. Rodney does what you talked about earlier, where he lands, and it's almost like it's his stiff leg, his front leg, the left leg.
Yep.
It pops him up, and he spins around that to first base.
I don't get why a pitcher who, when he throws a baseball, is standing about 53, 54 feet away from home plate, wouldn't want to defend themselves.
Pitch to LaRoche in there for strike 1.
You know, I would just think you would want to teach yourself to throw all the great stuff you already have, but also finish in a position where if it's hit back to you, you not only help yourself and the team by defending yourself, catching a ball, and getting outs, but in case you have one hit really hard, they can hurt you.
1 strike on LaRoche through 1. That's down. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitchers who field their position now, we look at them and say, how did they do that?
Right.
Because we've seen the adverse situation where nobody even tries to flag it down. They try to kick it, or it goes through their legs or between their feet in the center field.
Yeah, it's a strange thing to me, because I just think it's not that tough to practice that and be better.
The 1-1, a line drive to right. Here comes Cruz over to get it. The ball gets by him. This could score a run. Cabrera around second. Misplay. Jackson couldn't pick it up. Cabrera gets the stop sign at third base.
And unfortunately, that was not a time McEwing felt like taking a chance. And the reason I say unfortunately, because Cano was really just going to throw that ball to third base.
Yeah.
He wasn't even looking to the plate, because in his mind it was going to be an easy run scored. As I think that ball for the right fielder got in the lights. I really
He made
do.
a valiant effort at it, but the ball just got by him. I think you're right. He looked like he could have got it down, but it looked like he slid early trying to get the lights out of his face.
Some outfielders really don't have the ability to dive. They can slide, and that's what it looked like Cruz wanted to do. Only slide. He couldn't dive for it. If he goes glove first instead of feet first, he makes the play.
LaRoche has 18 doubles this season.
Yes.
18 of them. He's at second base, Cabrera at third, and Ramirez at home plate. They bring the infield up. For Fernando Rodney, who's blown saves,
yes,
this is a situation where he's uncomfortable because he's still doubting his stuff. And I don't blame him. The pitch to Lexi, cut on miss, strike 1. That was a hanger.
Yes, it was. A changeup up. Good pitch to get the job done. But Ramirez looked like, to me, was thinking more about cutting it loose and driving the ball. In these situations, if you just look for something up, whether it be a fastball or a changeup or curveball, and you wait to see it a little bit short and quick, you'll hit that pitch.
Rodney's 0-1. Inside low, almost hit him. 1 ball, 1 strike. The lone out in this inning, a line drive off the bat of Garcia to the third baseman Seager.
By the way, the base runner Melky Cabrera on that ball hit to right field.
Yeah.
He went almost 3/4 of the way to second base on the one that was hit to right center, and he had to wait to see if it was caught. He couldn't just take off.
1 ball, 1 strike. Rodney from the set, the 1-1 in the dirt. I'll say this about Sucre, the catcher. He's got some skills on blocking balls in the dirt. That was great. Saved a run.
It looks to me the confidence of Fernando Rodney is finally shaken a bit from previous years where he was really cocky out there.
Yeah. 2 balls and 1 strike. You can make him doubt his stuff even more with a base hit here. Or a long one. The 2-1 in the dirt, 3-1. A walker loads him up for Sanchez. We're in the 8th. Sox leading by a run at 4-3. Have a dozen hits now, and Sale has 14 strikeouts.
You know, when you've blown saves, your ERA is high, all the things that have gone on with Fernando Rodney, you get a 3-1 count. You know, you don't really want to lay it in there to be hit. You just don't have the confidence.
He doesn't want to throw it in there, and he's pressed to do that. 3-1, the 3-1, swinging and missing, 3-2 now.
That's why he threw him the changeup on 3-1, because he just didn't feel confident enough to throw his fastball. He's going to trick him, and did.
That's a great changeup, too.
And it was out of the strike zone. You had Ramirez saying, all right, I'm looking 3-1 fastball, like he should. I don't think you look for this guy's changeup 3-1, but he better be in contact mode now. Just put the bat on the ball. And he does that well.
3 balls, 2 strikes. LaRoche at second. Cabrera's over at third. 4-3 Sox, 8th inning. And the pitch. A swing, and he pops him up, and this is playable behind home plate, perhaps. No. It's going to wind up in the seats out of play. Sucre, the catcher, came back and stopped. And when he did that, I knew the ball was going to be close. What was it, 5-6 rows back?
Oh, yeah. The wind blew that one out of play.
Yeah. We don't have a zephyr of wind here tonight.
That's true.
Field. 3 balls and 2 strikes. One out. Runners at second and third. Sox need to add on. They lead 4-3. And a 3-2 to Ramirez. A line drive to left down the line. That's going to hit foul.
So at this point, Rodney is just living with that changeup. Sucre's going to go talk to him about something. Threw him a 3-1 changeup, swung and missed it. Threw him a 3-2 changeup, popped it foul. Threw him another changeup on 3-2, pulled it foul. He's getting closer to put it in play. So now they have a conversation, and this becomes a little tricky for the players. And when I say tricky, as a hitter, you're going, what are they talking about? I mean, I almost smoked that for a double. Are they going to say, don't throw it again, or are they trying to mess with me, and they're going to throw it again? You start overthinking the situation. He needs to look fastball and adjust.
Yeah. The other stuff's not going to work. You do not want to get caught watching a paint dry at home plate on a fastball.
That's exactly right.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The 3-2 to Ramirez, a swing and a high fly ball fouled on the left field line. That's in that Jester court down there of the yellow-shirted Felix Hernandez fan club. They're holding up the K's down there, not unlike the Sale K zone at U.S. Cellular.
Yep. Now that last pitch, again the changeup. 4 straight changeups to Ramirez.
Infield up. Toes on the infield grass. Hitting room? Well, anywhere. Except that in the middle infielder or the corners. And the 3-2 again, he walked him. Bases are loaded.
Here comes the skipper.
Yep. You may have seen enough. McClendon to the mound. To the bullpen he goes. With the change, we're back in a minute 5 on the score on the Sox Radio Network.
A new pitcher for the Mariners, left-handed reliever Rob Rasmussen comes in. Looking for the numbers on Rasmussen, and no. Looks like he's somebody that's just made it here. Check and see his numbers in the minor leagues. No. They got nothing. He's a new guy. So we cannot really give you his information because they don't have it here.
I hope he doesn't have it out there.
Yeah. What he said.
Fernando Rodney goes 1/3 of an inning. 2 hits and a walk. The lone out, a rocket to the third baseman off the bat of Garcia. So it's Rasmussen here in the 8th inning. Recall from AAA Tacoma today. I mean, it's not like he came a long way. I mean, it's a 45-minute trip over.
You're literally at 3 o'clock and say, hey, you know what?
I think I'll go to the big league.
Get that Rasmussen here. Yeah. Okay, I'll be there in 45 minutes.
Yeah. 4 runs, 12 hits for the Sox, 3 on 4 for Seattle. Rasmussen with the glove pointed under his chin, reading signs from the catcher, Sucre. Now he works from the stretch with the bases loaded. Sanchez in the right-hand batter's box, foul tip, pitch 1 for strike 1.
I know this. He's not a big guy out there, but he just threw that pitch 94.
One strike on Carlos Sanchez. Infield looks for a double play ground ball. Back to the pitcher. He's coming home with it. And the 0-1 outside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is the kind of guy that just, I called in the big leagues. You go over to your hitting coach before and you say, what do you have on him? They look at him and go, we don't have anything. Go up there and hit his fastball. That's all you'll do.
Attack that fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sanchez waiting. Rasmussen dealing the 1-1. A floater high, 2-1. You can call that if you're Sucre.
Right.
If he doesn't get it over, now you got to think twice about calling the other one.
Well, that's the problem. You're exactly right, Ed. You call that on 1-1 and he rolls it up there and doesn't throw a strike. Now all of a sudden he doesn't have much confidence to do anything but throw a fastball. And Sanchez has got to go, all right, I don't have to worry about that pitch.
I think the pitcher called Cano over to tell him, I don't have the pitch that he's calling. Because you get him out here, and Cano hollered to the catcher, like, come on out here.
I think Cano's the captain out there telling everybody what should be going on. He probably said, look, throw him a fastball. We'll make the play behind you.
Yeah. I'll take full responsibility. When you hear that, you wise up and know that he has no responsibility whatsoever unless the ball's hit to him.
I just know this. If I'm standing there, my name's Carlos Sanchez,
yeah.
I'm ready to drive a fastball to center field.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases loaded, the 2-1. Close, but not a strike, 3-1. A walk forces in a run, makes it a 2-run ball game. But we know what he's getting now. He's getting a 3-1 fastball.
Let's see if they have the overall numbers. If he's been here any other times this year, he has. He's been in 8 games this year, so this is not his debut.
The 3-1, he walked him. Sox now lead by 2 runs at 5-3.
So the element of surprise for the skipper, Lloyd McClendon, putting in a pitcher that nobody knows, didn't work out.
No, not yet.
Rasmussen on the year just found his numbers overall. This is his 9th appearance coming into this game. 2-1 record in 8 games. A 16.20 earned run average. How'd that happen? Prior to this, 6 2/3 innings he pitched, 13 hits, 12 runs.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Been there.
Yep. You have to say generally every pitcher that's been around long enough has gone through some kind of run like that.
That run, incidentally, is charged to Fernando Rodney.
Oh, yeah.
There's Flowers looking at ball 1. One ball, no strikes on Flowers. For the long one. Sox leading 5-3 with a dozen hits, still have the bases loaded with 1 out. Flowers waits in the 1-0. That's a strike, 1-1.
Now, talking about the numbers of Rasmussen earlier this year, I don't know when, but he just got called back up. I guarantee they called him up because he's been pitching well down there.
Yeah.
And they decided, let's give him another chance. They get him in a game pressure situation for a guy that struggled earlier this year. And to this point, no bueno.
1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1 to Flowers. That's strike 2. No bueno means not too good.
Yeah, I don't know what Tyler's looking for there. A guy that's having trouble, bases are loaded, and he took a fastball for a called strike 2. That's just not good hitting. And Tyler, he's been around long enough, he should know that's a pitch you do not want to miss.
He's got 1 left. Maybe he'll jump on this one. Bases loaded. 8th inning. 5-3 Sox. 1 out. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes on Tyler Flowers. Rasmussen, the lefty, deals the 1-2 pitch to Tyler. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sponsor 10 seconds for station identification on the score on the show White Sox Radio Network. Alongside Darren Jackson, Ed Farmer, we're at Safeco Field in Seattle. 8th inning, 5-3 White Sox. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Flowers with the bases loaded and 1 out. Rasmussen and lefty from the set. And the 2-2 to Flowers make it 3-2. I'm trying to find him in a media guide. I can't find him in that media guide. Maybe he's in the Mariners bios with additional players. Yeah, he's there. Trade with Toronto. That's how they got Rasmussen. And the 3-2 to Flowers. A liner out of play to the right. It was a minor league deal. Left-handed pitcher Jake Brentz and Nick Wells in exchange for Mark Lowe on July 31st. Rasmussen was part of that trade.
Yeah, those are those little moves that teams feel they have the opportunity to get to postseason, like the Blue Jays. They need that reliever.
So he's
like
been here for about 3 weeks. That's it. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases loaded in the 3-2 to Flowers. A swing and another foul out of play to the right. So he has him swinging and fouling pitches off. Does he have the pitcher, the change of speeds to get him out?
Well, it's more along the lines as Tyler Flowers ready to go. I mean, when he took the 2-1 fastball right there, you have doubt in what Tyler's feeling in the batter's box right now.
2 hits in this inning, 2 walks. 3 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 1 out. Flowers waiting for Rasmussen's 3-2 pitch again, and here it is. A swing and a foul out of play to the right.
Tyler
this could go on for a while.
Well, Tyler's just trying to battle right now. And you can tell these are the kind of at-bats for him that he's not locked in. He doesn't really feel comfortable against a pitcher that he's not seen before. He's just, patiently trying to see the ball and do something with it. He's not aggressively saying, here comes a fastball, I'm going to go get it. That is for sure.
No. 3-2 the count. Hanging down signs for Sucre, the catcher, and Rasmussen now from the side again, and the 3-2 to Flowers. A bouncing ball over the head of the third baseman, foul. The count holding at 3-2. So he did something different there, and Flowers pulled it. Did he pitch in rather than away?
No, he did pitch in. You're right. He had been working more away, but
from a slider.
It was a little off of the fastball. It was a 91. It was not the 93, 94 he'd been throwing. Yeah, seeing 9 pitches. This will be the 9th pitch.
Yeah. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. A runner on each base. And another 3-2 to Flowers right down the middle. He walked him.
Wow.
That's 3 walks in a row by Seattle pitching. That forces in another run. Now it's the White Sox 6, Mariners 3.
That was close. Tyler Flowers must have known something, like he and the umpire have been working together all night long, and he's like, can't give that one in the situation we had. He's not calling it now.
That looked pretty good from here, didn't it?
It did.
So after a lengthy at bat, a run batted in for Flowers on a walk, and the bases are still loaded. They're loaded for Adam Eaton. This is a lengthy inning in Eden. 7th man to bat in this 8th inning, but only 2 runs across. The pitch to Adam. On his tiptoes, taking ball 1. Is he looking for the ball in?
Well, with that body language, yes. Especially against a pitcher you don't know, and he's left-handed and throwing 93, 94. You're not going to dive across the plate.
Eden with the bases loaded, 6 out of 23 without a slam in the 1-0. That's a ball, a fake throw to third by the catcher Sucre. I'll stay back to third base. Ramirez is looking at him like, what are we doing here?
The third baseman was never over there. No. And that might have cost his pitcher a strike.
He stood up. That's a great point because he got in front of the umpire.
He jumped up and was ready to throw, and the umpire's going, I can't see it if you're standing in front of me.
2 balls, no strikes on Eden. That's the pitch you drive here on 2-0, and here it is. That's a strike, 2-1.
Now, that'll drive you crazy. You don't drive it. A fastball across the knees, down and in, and the guy that doesn't appear to have much command. Adam Eaton, no reason to swing at that one. Those times I say, hey, fastball count, you got to be ready for it. Not on that pitch.
2 balls, 1 strike. He has thrown 1 off-speed pitch for a ball. See if Sucre wants it here on 2-1. Bases loaded. 2-1, tomahawk foul. That was a pitch up and out of the strike zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a good point. Here he is facing his third batter. He's thrown 1 breaking ball.
Yeah.
And our guys have not crushed him yet.
He's walked, too.
Yeah, but they've had pitches to hit.
Absolutely.
They're fouling him off and swinging and missing. They're fouling off everything, but they haven't squared him up.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded. And the 2-2. Strike 3 called, and he knew it. Fastball.
Our hitters have not done anything to deter him from throwing the fastball at this point. He just keeps on throwing it up there, and he's done his own damage by walking guys, but they haven't hit him.
That had plenty of home plate, too, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's a guy you can't outsmart, Saladino. The reason I say that is because he's up from the minor leagues. He's thinking of one thing. He throws me a fastball, I'm jumping on it. I'm not going to look for his breaking ball. Plus, he has to throw one for a strike. When the pitch to Tyler. Fastball, line drive, right field, and that's going to fall for a hit. That gets Ramirez in, heading for home and coming home to throw home. Safe at home plate, Sanchez. 2-run single by Saladino to right. The Sox have put a 4 spot on the Mariners here in the 8th.
Now we're talking. That's what you do. You get up there, young hitter, see fastball, hit fastball as you were describing. You can't trick him. He didn't trick him.
No, McClendon's going to trick him. He's going to the bullpen.
Tried to leave him out there.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
He departs to the bullpen. McClendon goes. We're going to a 1-minute, 5-second break in the score. This year, White Sox Radio Network.
Golf show, passionate baseball breakdown, and
Must be David Rollins, as apparently, while we are away, home plate umpire Quinn Walcott threw out the manager of the Mariners, Lloyd McClendon. Gave him the old heave-ho, and Lloyd went over and talked. Now, Lloyd McClendon in his career, he's never had problems getting tossed out of ball games.
No.
Oh, man. Back in his days as manager of the Pirates, Here's David Rollins' numbers. 12 games, no wins, losses, earned run average. 688. He's given up 25 hits in 17 innings. 6 walks, 14 strikeouts. Opponents batting .342 against him. And you can see, talked about it earlier with you, that the biggest problem the Mariners have had is their bullpen.
Yeah.
And you and I were discussing that last night's game.
We were.
How if you don't have a bullpen now,
you can't win.
You can't. I mean, you have to have a strong bullpen. It's just a fact, and you have always been an advocate of that. And I used to think, you got to have strong pitching, but the game has gone a completely different direction.
There's no question. You got to have guys that can get the last outs of innings that are extended, and this one has been extended. And that fastball to Abreu is down the middle for strike one. 8 runs, 13 hits for the White Sox. Remember this. There were 2 outs and Saladino coming up, and I said, you can't outthink him. He's looking for a fastball. He got a fastball and singled to the right, drove in 2.
Yeah, but the thing about that, other guys in the inning weren't hitting those pitches.
No.
He got it.
That pitch swung on a miss down to count 0-1-2. This guy's got filthy stuff. Those 2 pitches, they were great. Can he make a third, though?
I got another situation. Pitcher facing Abreu. He doesn't have any idea what this guy's going to do out there.
This looks like the 5th inning yesterday.
Yes, it does.
This is the 9th man to bat here in this inning. Abreu. The pitch to Jose. Inside corner, strike 3, and that's going to do it. 4 runs across for the Sox here on the 8th, and they leave a pair to the bottom of the 8th. White Sox lead, and they lead 8-3.
Well, the White Sox now lead this ball game 8-3. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, and a pitching change sponsored by the United Association of Union Plumbers, Fitters, Welders, and Service Technicians. Built with safety and on time and on budget. Built the UA way. New pitcher, left-handed reliever for the White Sox behind Chris Sale is Zach Duke. Zach 6, check that, 3 wins, 4 losses, and a 3.47 earned run average in 53 games. He's also picked up a save. And before we get going, also, time now for the Allstate Good Hands play of the game, sponsored by our Allstate agent, Jim Towns. He's in Addison, Aurora, and Batavia. Also in Chicago. He's all over the road. Start being protected today. Call Jim Towns at 630-834-5678. Chicago's own Good Hands. I don't care about the 1 point of the 3 runs, but Chris Sale, we were in good hands with him again as he picks up 14 strikeouts in 7 innings. Back-to-back starts for Sale.
15
strikeouts followed by 14. Thank you very much for the excitement.
Duke faces Sucre. Hits a high fly ball left center field. You get in the game, the ball finds you. And making the catch in left center field is Trace Thompson into play left.
Yes, he is indeed. And he gets that fly ball. He throws it in, and it kind of rolls past the cutoff man. Ramirez looks at Trace Thompson out there and keeps putting his glove at his chest saying, throw it here. Throw it here. Ramirez likes to do those little things.
The numbers on sale: 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs earned, 1 walk, 14 strikeouts, and a home run. Trumbo's home run with 2 aboard in the 7th inning. That's all the runs the Mariners have. And they trail 8-3 here in the 8th. That pitch right down the middle, strike 1 to Marte, the shortstop. That's Ketel Marte, that is. Right back here tomorrow, game 2 of the 3-game series. That one's fouled on the ground over to the on-deck area, and the count 0-2. Rodney's numbers, they're not too good.
No.
He pitched 1/3, 2 hits, 3 runs, they're all earned, 1 walk. When this pitch is swinging a ground ball headed to the left, that's a base hit. So Marte moves to first with 1 out here in the 8th.
A nice distance between the third baseman and shortstop. Ramirez playing towards the middle of the field. So Marte just getting out on his front side, his left leg, and had his hands back, kind of chopped that straight down to the ground. And a lot of hitters, that's how they used to hit. Front foot hitters, you call them, and then they hit against their left side. All these are terms that they used to use. Somebody like Frank Thomas did that. His right foot, his back foot would be off the ground on contact with the ball.
There's Seagar, the third baseman. That's down and away for ball 1. If you're McClendon and you want to use Rodney, where are you going to use him now?
Left out?
I mean, would you bring him in to save a game?
No, he's no longer the closer.
How about with the way their bullpen is anyway?
No.
The 1-0, that's a strike 1-1.
No, he's already told me today that Rodney's not closing games out for him anymore. He's kind of transitioned to another guy because Fernando's just had that kind of year that he cannot put him out there in a tight game situation. He's blown too many chances.
The 1-1 is Seager, a swing and a bouncing ball. The pitcher to short for 1. Ramirez has it, throws to first. A safe co-insurance. 1-6-3 inning and double play. No runs, a hit, the double play. Nobody left. 8 complete to the 9th. It's 8-3 White Sox. For the White Sox, leading off the 9th, Trace Thompson just into the game. The left fielder will bat. He bats in the spot vacated by Melky Cabrera as he took over for him in left to start the bottom of the 8th. So it's Thompson here in the 9th with the White Sox leading 8-3. The first pitch in there for strike 1. The 9th inning scoreboard brought to you by General RV, the nation's largest family-owned RV dealer. They're in Huntley. So it goes 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs earned, 1 walk, 14 strikeouts, and a home run to Trumbo. Get to that scoreboard. After that pitch, that's over for 0-2 now. Texas shut out Detroit at Safeco, or I should say Comerica. We're at Safeco here in Seattle. 2-0 Rangers today. Pittsburgh lost to San Diego 6-4. The Steel City. Here's a swing and a miss. Thompson's out on strikes. That didn't take long.
No. Went right at him throwing strikes, which is, important when you're not pitching well. Better throw strikes.
Well, this is on audition. You got to think this if you're in their bullpen. This is on audition for me to be the closer.
Yeah, and he hasn't really worked that much this year, and his numbers are not good. So every time he gets a chance, numbers are going to go down.
Yeah.
And the manager's going to think a little more highly of you because nobody else was getting the job done.
Yeah. He comparatively speaking, he goes, this guy's great. He only gave up 1. 8 runs, 13 hits for the White Sox. 3 on 5 for these Mariners. We're in the 9th with 1 out, bases clear on the pitch. Followed a play to the right. OUNID, let's take it now. We're back in 10 seconds on the Score on the Sox Radio Network.
Jason Goff.
Alongside Darren Jackson at Farmer Safeco Field in Seattle, 8-3 Sox on 13 hits, the Mariners 5. Sale is on line for his 12th win unless something really occurs that we don't want to see, that's for sure. He had 14 strikeouts. Garcia took that pitch up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Zach Davies is our engineer here at Safeco Field in the Score Studios downtown Chicago. Joe Ostrowski working with Rick Camp there. This game started with a temperature right about 72 degrees tonight, 70 degrees. The first pitch thrown at 9:10 Central Time. And that pitch just missed away, 2 balls and a strike. There's a fan standing, and the people on his right and left are wearing earmuffs, and he's yelling at the umpire. Well, he's yelling at everybody.
Very vocal all night.
Yes. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. And the 2-1. Outside high, 3-1.
One of the better things for a young pitcher in a game like this, your manager's been thrown out, he's in the locker room, he's watching on TV, he's
looking for Fernando Rodney.
Yeah, he's kind of, he's watching how you attack the strike zone right now because the game's one-sided. He just wants to make sure you're going after hitters.
3-1 to Avi, he walks him.
Not like that. But you also have to, talk about this, Ed. This could just be a guy that's not real good with the command and control.
Yeah.
Simple as that. He's giving you everything he has, but he just doesn't throw a lot of strikes. Maybe that's his M.O.
David Rollins? Yeah, I don't have a problem with this. He seems to make pitches, with the exception of Ramirez. He struck out Thompson to open this inning, and they got Abreu looking. Now he deals with LaRoche. 1 out, 1 on. 8-3 Sox, 9th inning. The pitch swung and a miss, strike 1. Well, Rasmussen didn't throw a breaking pitch for a strike. He threw 1 and had to depart after the single by Saladino. Rollins just threw him a breaking pitch and a good one.
Well, he almost got out of the inning. I mean, he went through Eaton, and it looked like, okay, he's going to get off the hook. Not the case.
They have the shift on for LaRoche. That's high. 1 ball, 1 strike. They've moved Seager, the third baseman, to play a position close to second. And they've taken Cano, the second baseman, and moved him in a spot almost in right field as he backpedals out to the rim of the infield and closer to first base than he is to second. And that pitch inside corner, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Adam LaRoche.
Looking at Adam as he is having a conversation with the home plate umpire after that last called strike. That's what it looks like he does. Just has nice casual conversations with the umpire when he doesn't agree with them.
1 ball, 2 strikes to 1-2 to LaRoche. Struck him out swinging.
Well, he has 3 outs, and all of them are strikeouts. So you can say that about Rawlings. As tough as his numbers are for his start to this season, he is striking some guys out.
Well, he's got 3 of the outs recorded. He has all 3 of them. He deals with Ramirez. There's a fan that took exception with the man that's vocal down there.
Yes.
He yelled at him to shut up. I don't think he deterred him one bit. Pitch to Lexi, inside, ball 1.
As long as you're not, if you're at a ball game and you're not offensive, I think you're allowed to yell whatever you want.
Yeah, I have no problem with that at all. Although if you're next to him, you might have a problem. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at first. 8-3 Sox. This one's off the end of the bat. That looked like a changeup.
And when if it comes to this in a baseball game, you're a fan, you're going to the game, and you're not pleased with what you're saying, and you're yelling stuff that's not obscenities or offensive. And all of a sudden, if an usher comes to you and goes, okay, you're too loud now, I'd look at him and go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Am I not allowed to cheer when things get...
Absolutely.
I mean, which way are we going here? How much control are you guys going to take? I can't say anything you disagree with, right?
Wow. You can yell anything you want as long as it's not obscene. Here's a swing and a bouncing ball up the middle. Off of Cano's glove into center field. Over to third with no problem. And still sprinting over there is Garcia. We have seen Cano make that play, but not at that area with that kind of bounce.
Yeah, that's a tough play. I mean, it hit the mound, went straight up in the air, and it came down in a unique fashion in between hop. And you kind of get used to Robinson Cano with the gold glove and all to make tough plays look routine. That was a base hit. That's all that comes down to.
And that had overspin on it also. So the Sox threaten to get a run here in the 9th, or maybe more.
There's a reaction for the Mariners fans there of disapproval of him not making that play, disappointment, because they're frustrated.
He wasn't going to throw him out at first, I can tell you that.
I mean, they're frustrated. When games aren't being played well, we've seen that in Chicago. The fans become frustrated.
No question. Sox leading 8-3. They now have as many hits as Sale had strikeouts, and Chris had 14. Sanchez trying to put one on the seats in fair territory for a homer. Missed that one swinging. Strike 1.
How about Carlos with the 3 home runs? And they came in a very close proximity of each other. And we say that home runs come in bunches. That's a fact. His 3 came and went.
He has 3 runs batted in tonight. 1 with a walk. The other 2 on a double. The double in the 6th. Then it tried to race to third, and he didn't make it.
Yeah, but that was one of those risks that it was worth it.
Yeah.
Because you want to try and draw the throw away from home plate, and he drew it. He was out easy.
Yeah, by 5 or 6 feet at least.
Garcia, fortunately, was hustling home and scored ahead of that.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, runners at the corners. The next one, cut on a miss by Sanchez, 1-2.
Sanchez, I think Robin Ventura showed amazing patience with him struggling offensively. And I think it probably reflects how his career started, 0 for 45 or whatever it was, and the manager kept putting him out there.
Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the 1-2. Sanchez a foul over the backstop. The count holding at 1 ball, 2 strikes. He was 0 for everything.
Yes.
And that was after he had 59 straight at Oklahoma State University. And McDowell stopped that streak. Jack McDowell became his teammate with the White Sox.
Well, Robin played in the minor leagues, didn't he?
I believe he did, yeah.
So it wasn't right after he did that.
No,
that
that's what I didn't. If you misinterpreted that, that's not how it was directed. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the 1-2. A swing and a line drive to left. That's down for a hit. That's going to score 1. Garcia home. Ramirez is around second on his way to third. And he gets the stop sign into second with a run-scoring double as Sanchez. The White Sox do add on here in the ninth. They now lead 9-3.
And now a 4 RBI night for Sanchez. And 2 doubles to go along with it.
McEwen could have sent Ramirez.
You think?
Absolutely.
Would have been a close play. Maybe he's safe there. But, I think in a game like this, he just decided he would be a little more cautious.
I don't have a problem with that. I think right now you're not calling off the dogs, but you're erring on the side of not embarrassing a team when you're up 9-3. I'll say that.
Because I am a firm believer in you always try and score for your teammate. And the coach's job is to always be aggressive because I'd expect the other team to do the same thing. But I thought that would have been a close enough play at the plate. If you send him, that it's not worth the risk.
Rick Waite's the pitching coach to the mound. Now he'll depart to the dugout. And now here's Tyler Flowers. A ground out to short, a single, ground out to third, and a walk and a run batted in. That's 15 hits for the White Sox. Runners at second, third. The pitch outside for ball 1.
In one of these nights for the Mariners where they're standing out there going, can we just get off the field?
Rio United will take it after the pitch to Flowers. 1 ball, no strikes on Tyler Flowers. And the 1-0. He swings and fouls it. Let's take that idea. We're back at 10 on the Score on the Sox Radio Network.
Mully here for the Mully and Hanley Show. Mornings 5 to 9.
With Darren Jackson at Farmer Safeco Field in Seattle. 9-3 White Sox. Runners at second and third. And the pitch to Flowers. A swing and a line drive right center. That's going to pick up 2. In home with no problem. Ramirez Sanchez tried to catch him. The White Sox have blown this one open here in the 9th inning. Woo. Flowers muscled this ball, Darren, over the head of Cano in the right center field.
Yes, he did. Good swing. Good result. Matter of fact, that ball was over the second baseman's head, but the pitcher flinched like it was coming at him. He jumped out of the way like, man, I got to duck.
It is now 11-3 White Sox. And here's Adam Eaton.
That's crazy. You don't usually see the second baseman jumping for a ball and the pitcher flinched before that.
This is the 16th man to bat in the last inning. And here in the 9th with 2 outs. Inning and 2/3. 16 men have batted. That's in the dirt for ball 1.
Well, this looks like the offense is just locked in tonight with the 16 hits. But think about it. This really has been late where they've just batted around.
The 1-0, a high fly to left. The stutter step by the left fielder. On is still running, comes in and stumbles as Gutierrez and makes the play. That's it for the Sox. White Sox score 3 runs here in the 9th after 4 in the 8th. To the bottom of the 9th, they lead 11-3. Now plays third base. Saladino plays short as he moves from third to short. Ramirez out of the game. The infield from first to third. LaRoche, Sanchez, Saladino, Beckham, The outfield from left to right, Thompson, Eaton, and Avi Garcia. A battery of Duke pitching to Tyler Flowers. We're in the ninth. Sox scoring 3 runs in the top half of this inning after getting 4 in the 8th and lead 11-3. Duke's delivery to Nelson Cruz. That's a strike called. White Sox 11 runs, 16 hits. They've stranded 8. The Mariners a 3-run homer for Trumbo in the 7th to get within a run. There's a swing and a high fly ball that's hit deep to center field. Eaton running back at 4:01 along the wall, leaps, and it's gone. Cruz has hit a home run, his 37th. Now 11-4 White Sox.
That ball was hit as high as it was far.
Oh, it looked like one of your tee shots.
It was a bomb.
That was center cut, and it was out in center field. Darren, he didn't stride.
No, he
did not stride. All that he does is it's almost like a golfer's swing. He loads up on that left side.
Yep.
Goes from his right side to his left foot, and he doesn't lift that foot, and he did a bomb.
Jim Edmonds used to do the same thing. No stride, kind of turn his knee in and then go.
That pitch in there for strike 1 to Robinson Cano. Cano's night has gone this way. A strikeout, a ground out, a single, and a run scored in the 7th. There's a sidearm pitch that misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. The White Sox bullpen is working. Do we see Robertson tonight just for an out or so?
You know, I would personally think yes. He's got to get in there.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And he is the one warming.
Is he?
Yep.
Here's the 1-1. Cano swings, bouncing ball foul past first. The count now 1-2 on Robbie Cano. That pitch, strike 3 called on the outside corner. So Duke gets a called strike on Cano, and now he will deal with Gutierrez, the left fielder. Franklin tonight, a strikeout and 2 groundouts. He's 0 for 3, a groundout and a fly to left. He's 0 for 3. And there's strike 1 fired by Zach Duke. We're in the 9th. A run across on a Cruz home run. That was a Cruz missile, I'll tell you that, to center field. Gutierrez, the right-handed batter, waiting for Duke's delivery. Here it is. A little low. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the 9th. Sox leading 11-4. A home run by Cruz, his 37th. That didn't just cross the fence either. That was out of here by a bunch.
Yeah, coming straight down. Eaton tried to jump, but, well, no chance.
1-1, swung and a miss, 1-2. Well, he jumped, but the ball was over towards right field a little bit more. And he would have had to go a long way to get that one.
And had to pull that Betts move like he tried in
Mookie
in
Betts.
Boston.
Yeah.
He went over the fence, but lost the ball.
Yeah. The 1-2. Strike 3 called, and they're down to the last out.
All right, Trumbo. You know, he's trying to hit another home run as he did last time up.
The pitch to Mark, down, ball 1.
Trumbo, his 7th home run here with the Mariners. That gives him 16 on the year combined with Arizona.
The next one, close, but away. 2 balls, no strikes. Duke's 2-0 to Mark Trumbo. That's low and in, 3-0. White Sox looking to close this one out, but Trumbo's got a count of 3-0. Is he swinging on 3-0?
No.
Should be.
Oh, no.
And the 3-0 to Mark. That's a strike 3-1.
That is definitely against baseball etiquette in a game like this where guys are swinging 3-0 when they're down by so much.
You would expect the P to be gone, but fireworks to follow this game.
Yep.
The 3-1 to Trumbo, bouncing ball to third, charging Saladin, or Beckham has it. The throw in time, and the Sox long ago decided this one as they beat the Mariners 11-4. Time of the game was 3 hours and 6 minutes. And I got to tell you this, Sale was in command until Trumbo hit the 3-run homer, and he was in command of that, and he struck out the side. He had 14 strikeouts, and Chris Sale moves there at 12-7 on the year.
Well, we expected a really good pitching matchup tonight. Felix was okay, not as good as he could be. Sale was great, even though he made one mistake, and that's really all it was. One mistake. Looked like he did more than that by giving up 3 runs, but the 3-run home run, and that's it. He was dominant once again.
How about Cruz's home run? Let's talk about that for a second. That was well hit to center field. So you got to throw him good to get him out there, too, don't you?
Well, Cruz has led the American League in home runs, so he's a guy that you should be impressed because when he hits them, they usually go very, very far. That one did. He just got a meatball right there, didn't miss it.
White Sox at one time led big, 4-0 to the 7th. A 3-run homer by Trumbo to right field made it a 1-run game. In the 2 innings, the 8th and the 9th, the White Sox scored 7 runs and sent 17 men to home plate. Here are the totals: 11 runs, 16 hits for the White Sox. They stranded 8. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Mariners. They left 2. Sale the winner 12-7. Hernandez the loser at 14-8. Time of the game was 3 hours and 6 minutes. 35,770 tickets sold to see game 1 of the 3-game series. Right back here tomorrow with game 2. Pre-game show tomorrow with Chris Ranji, 7:35 Central Time. 8:05 we'll call lineups. 8:10 the first pitch. Rodon will pitch for the Sox. Nuno will go for these Mariners. We want to thank our engineer here, Zach Davies. The Score Studios in downtown Chicago, Joe Ostrowski and Rick Camp. Up next, Chris Ranji's got the post-game show on the Score on the Sox Radio Network. He'll take you home. For Darren Jackson, Ed Farmer saying goodnight from the Emerald City of Seattle, Washington. The White Sox come up from Anaheim and now have won 2 in a row. They beat the Mariners 11-4. We'll talk to you tomorrow night from right here at Safeco Field. Good night from Seattle, 11-4 White Sox. So long, everybody.